Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, it's Ladies' Day.
What's going on?
Always, everyone's looking great, and I'm so excited to get into this topic with you guys because I know a lot of you are having this topic in your families and with your children. How many of you watched this last night? Because President Biden gave a primetime address framing the midterm elections as a, quote, battle for the soul of a nation. Take a look.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. History tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy.
All right, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy hit back, saying instead of bringing the country together, Biden has chosen to divide, demean, and disparage. He also called on the president to apologize to the millions of Americans who voted for Trump. So, what do? We go to you. What do you think of the president going after some MAGA Republicans like this? Are they really a threat to this country? And I want to make it really clear to everyone here, he was specifically talking about Biden, the extremists, not everyday Republican. If you are a fiscally conservative person, he's not talking to you. He's talking to the people who think the election is stolen and blindly lead and follow wherever Trump goes. What did you think, Linz?
Well, that was the part that was unclear, because at the beginning of the speech, he was like, I'm differentiating these people. There's MAGA Republicans, and then there's actual people who I think that's not the overwhelming portion of the party. Then he goes, well, the party is overwhelmingly influenced by these MAGA Republicans. And so basically you're telling 74 million people, shame on you, because some people, like you said, voted for President Trump a second time and made that decision for whatever reason they made it, and not because they would run into the Capitol or storm the building or try to kill people. And so associating them with some of the things that we saw laid out during the January 6 hearings is kind of disheartening, because a lot of people's minds were changed. That was actually one of the main reasons to have these hearings, so the American public could see transparently exactly what was happening. So associating everybody with that when half of the country voted for President Trump was a missed opportunity to me, a missed opportunity to talk about what you're going to do on crime, what you're going to do about inflation, what you're going to do to bring the country together like you promised when you got the presidency. That was his number one thing, is that I'm going to unite the country. But the first thing, you're going in with this red background, looking like you came directly out of hell, you know, telling everybody, shame on you, this is terrible, the country's going down, it's over. Like, it just felt very morbid. And I wanted to read a tweet. It says, quote, standing in front of a hellish red background, Biden called the country, the MAGA Republicans' threat and a clear and present danger. Then he says, quote, empathy is fuel of democracy, the willingness to see each other not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. And so it's kind of like leaving a bunch of people unseen who maybe did support Trump for several different reasons and then changed their mind even after the intentional January 6 hearings. It's like, I'm still talking directly to you if you ever wore that hat in your life.
Okay, that's fair. What do you say to someone who says, I can't bring the country together if we don't call out a sect that's trying to bring us apart?
I would agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about the leadership of the Republican Party and the failure of a lot of leadership in the Republican Party to actually make a stand and differentiate the Republican Party from Trump. Are we going to continue to pretend like there aren't people in this country who absolutely have all of their allegiance to a person, to Trump? So when you have people, and I would say this about any movement, I would say this about any sector of people, your silence is violence. Your silence and being complicit in order to continue to hold your seat in our government is contributing to, yes, I do think that it's extremely detrimental to democracy, and it needs to be called out. Are there other things that we could be talking about? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, that was what was on the agenda for him to speak about, and I think it's far time that it is said.
Yeah. Well, I think that was more like a Democratic National Convention speech, like instead of a speech speaking to the whole country, because the number one enemy in this country is not inflation or the fact that people are losing jobs and trying to figure out what they're going to do for income and to pay for groceries. But the number one issue is still President Trump, somebody who hasn't been in office in 2 years. But that's the number one issue.
We're talking about domestic terrorism.
Right, but is that the number one issue for people that are going to vote in November? Because this was a very intentional midterm speech.
Sure. I don't know what the number one issue. I think you would really have to speak to or like get the pulse of the country.
Well, there has been several polls that show that it's inflation, the economy.
But at the same time, when we're talking about the safety of our country, I think safety is actually one of the biggest issues that people have in every capacity, regardless of what we're talking about.
Right, and I think that crime has been on those lists and all, like I said, the polls that keep showing that everybody really wants their leaders to talk about these things and how you're going to bring down crimes like directly in your city so that you're not seeing a bullet pass your window when you're trying to drive your kid to school.
I hear that, but if you don't have the seat of democracy, we have a constitutional crisis. We have anarchy. So I will simply say this. I don't find it polarizing to point out fascism. I find it patriotic, and I will do it from the seat as much as possible. Again, we're not talking about every Republican. We are talking about those that, to me, seem fascist. They don't believe in transfer of power. They believe in one person. They don't believe in anyone else. The blind loyalty. That is actually anti-American. So take a look. If you think a Democratic president saying fascism is bad, you might want to look at your party if you have a problem with that, if that issues you. And if not, talk to your elders of the greatest generation who fought a full war against that and perhaps find out more about that. All right, former President Donald Trump is also responding to Biden's speech on his social media platform. Trump called the speech insane. He also said someone should explain to Biden slowly but passionately that MAGA means make America great again. Trump also called into a radio show yesterday and promised full pardons to the January 6th rioters, all of them, as well as an apology from the government if he is reelected. Speaking of which, this retired New York police officer was sentenced to 10 years in prison yesterday for his role in the attack on the Capitol. That is the longest punishment handed down so far. He is an ex-police officer, and he came at a Capitol police officer with a metal pole. What do you think about offering pardons for the January 6th thing?
I think that's ridiculous. I think that, this is more than 800 people have been indicted already because of the Capitol riots. And I think that all those people should go to jail, should be convicted. That's a firm stance for me. And so even President Trump saying that he'll go back and pardon them and just ask for the apology, like the ego of it all, is really disheartening because as we think about what we're going to do to move the country forward, I think people don't even want him to run. So the fact that this is even igniting anyone to get behind him and say, okay, let's do this again is frustrating because if that's your number one goal to go in, that's also not what's on people's mind right now, is to pardon people who actually commit crimes.
What do you think, Erica?
Sounds like a payoff.
Yeah, sounds like a payoff to me too.
What else do you call it?
And just to call it out real quick, the one thing I can't stand that I want to tell the people, my friends across the aisle, if you do believe in Trump, what's interesting to me is he doesn't care about you. Like, he's sitting on his golden toilet and he doesn't care about the working man. It's a con. It's a grift. He stiffs people of money. That's not an American thing to do. He doesn't care about the working man. So I hope people take a look at perhaps their vision of what America should be. And if it's lined up with fascism, maybe take another look. Coming up on DBL, an assassination attempt on Argentina's vice president. We will show you what happened after the gun jams. And Dr. Coley is here in studio. She's talking about the new COVID booster shots. Are they safe? Should we get them? How is she?
Closed captioning provided by
Attention.
Hey, just stopping by to say we're taking over. We're made of this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
Hey everyone, yes, you're happy to see me, but guess what else? I'm so sorry, BJ's gonna kill me. Sierra's birthday was yesterday.
It was. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Sierra.
Happy birthday, Sierra.
Sierra, how old are you turning?
26.
And you are doing great. She's going to be taking over this network at one point. She will be my boss. And I probably pressed a button. I apologize.
Sierra to be our boss.
Well, don't you think? She's going to run this network. That's right. That's what's going to happen. We also have to get a look at Miss Lindsay's shoes. Do you mind coming around?
I'm matching head to toe.
Please, I just really have to. Thank you. Come here. This is unbelievable.
You need some yellow shoes and we'll be doing the same thing.
We're like Michigan colors, maize and blue. Look at how fabulous that looks.
We need a shoe cam like Wendy Williams.
She does a shoe cam.
Remember, people used to come on and sit down and go like this? I miss Wendy. I hope she comes back.
4.5 with Dr. How are you?
Good.
Are you doing well?
Yes.
So good to see you. You were just on a little trip.
A long trip.
Where'd you go?
Mosquito bites.
Do you?
I know, the West Nile thing, I was like, oh God.
Oh gosh. Don't you scare me.
Like 18.
Yeah, I can see him right here.
18.
Yeah, show Sierra. Take a look at the.
No.
Okay.
She's like, who wants to show that?
I guess Torian. That's wrong. But are they itchy as heck?
Yes.
Do you calamine lotion it?
Yeah, well, there's a Benadryl spray too, that's pretty good.
Oh, Benadryl.
And actually
spray.
had,
Doesn't she give you vibes from
That's
like
crazy.
a 1940s swinging party? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Pass
she's
the
off
gimlet,
shoulder thing
Seabiscuit's
the
making
other
the
day.
rounds.
I saw that segment, off the shoulder.
Oh, that was a moment.
That was funny.
Okay, so a moment.
Welcome back. Look who's here. It's Dr. Coley.
Hi,
our
ladies.
favorite.
Dr. Coley.
Hi, good to see you. She's here to answer all your questions about these new COVID booster shots that just got approved by the FDA and the CDC. So, Doc, these new boosters are not without controversy. I know that. They were only tested in mice, not humans. Makes me a little worried. Talk to me about these boosters. Are they safe? Are they effective?
You know, I'm not worried. In fact,
Okay.
the FDA actually told the companies we don't need the human tests because the safety data we already have. This is sort of like what we do with the flu every year, guys. We just kind of switch out the message, but the vaccine is the same.
Okay.
So I'm not at all concerned about safety. More of a question mark to me is the efficacy, like how well do they actually work? Now, there we have the mice data that tells us that if you get these boosters, they actually, protect you 20-fold higher against Omicron,
Oh, wow.
which is really, really great. They protect you against severe illness in mice that have actually human cells put into them. But I'm still waiting to see sort of in the humans how that actually plays out in the real world.
Okay.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. How are these shots different than the past boosters? Because, your doctor's telling you to get one and then a month later there's a new one.
It's a software upgrade. That's what it is for your boosters. So there's like a Toyota of boosters and there's a Tesla of boosters. And this is a Tesla.
Nice.
Of
I'll take
boosters.
it.
You happen to drive a Tesla? I do. So basically the last boosters were just a single variant, right? The original Wuhan strain. This is that plus the BA4 and the BA5.
Okay.
So what we're thinking is not just will we increase the amount of antibodies you have, hopefully we'll increase the types of antibodies against more variants and the duration of how long that response lasts.
I'm gonna get that Tesla because I had COVID and I was just thanking God every day that I had the booster and I was vaccinated because the way it came in, it could have been so much worse. So
And when was your COVID, Erica?
this was just a month ago.
Okay, so you're not going to be eligible for 3 months after your infection.
Poor Erica.
Okay,
So you
you're
got to wait a little bit, but with that fall spike that we think is going to be coming, it'll be perfect timing for that.
Okay, I'm signing up in the fall. I'm going to be there. So obviously these boosters are very important. But what do you say to people who are like, well, she still got COVID?
Yeah. So first, this is a better booster, right? We're putting more strains into it, so we're going to boost your immune response better, so the protection against any infection should be better. Second, as we've known, the protection against severe illness, we still have people dying every day from COVID. Feels like it's over, but it's not. Third, it's the only thing we have left going into fall. We're not distancing, we're not testing, we're not masking anymore. And modeling tells us that December, we're going to have a big spike. So this time, we actually have the chance to get ahead of it. So if we get this now, we could actually flatten out that spike and never see it altogether.
I hope so, because every winter I feel like we go through the same thing where it's like, okay, COVID's all the way back. But okay, so we're headed into the fall, like you said, and I know that flu shots are already available. Seems so abrupt, but they are. Do you recommend people get both their flu shot and their COVID booster at the same time? Should we space them out a couple weeks?
No, I think same time, guys, because really, it's not safety concerns. There's no significant efficacy concerns, and it's just more convenient.
Yeah,
so I'm
right.
actually going to go in a couple weeks and get both of mine together. The flu shot we want to get before Halloween. That's kind of the benchmark for the flu shot. But definitely by the end of this month is when we want to start thinking about it. And those boosters we think will be out as early as, right after Labor Day next week.
That's fantastic. fantastic.
Yeah, so
Thank
get
you,
your
science.
parents, your friends, everybody to get boosted. Maybe we can all go together.
A little
Have
booster party, huh?
Yeah, a little champagne,
Yeah,
a little booster.
Boost, shot a shot. You know. A new survey is out, and it showed that 2 in 3 adults actually don't know their blood type. And as I'm saying this, I think to myself, am I O negative? So I don't know. How important is it to know something like this? Is that important?
Do you know? So you don't know?
I don't know.
Erica?
I do.
I'm not positive. Like, I'm not even going to guess. I think I do.
3 adults right here. We have to know our blood type. And I think this is more of a reflection of a bigger problem where we don't know things about ourselves, our medical history, the medicines we're taking, what our problems are, that we really have to wake up and know. Now, if I asked anyone what their weight is, everybody at this table would know.
I don't.
I don't
Really?
either. I don't
either. It's not my business. Not my business.
Do you feel good today or not? That's what it is.
I turn around at the doctor's office. I'm like, that's your business.
Good for you.
Yeah, right.
I like it.
But it's important to know just to have knowledge about your own body.
It is, because I mean, in a life-threatening emergency for yourself, you should know, and then for somebody else, you know, can you donate blood to your family member who just had a car accident? You need to know your blood type in order to answer that question.
Okay, everybody, we got to get on that. Write me if you know it and what it is. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Asking everybody for their
right? Everybody's going to be typing in O, A.
Plus, that's like the grade I always wanted to get.
A+. For an overachiever, I love it. Type A right there. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley. We'll be right back. Type A, love it.
President Biden just announced a plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for some people. When critics attacked the plan, the White House responded on Twitter by pointing out some of those critics had gotten even larger loans forgiven by the government. Those loans weren't student loans, they were Paycheck Protection Program loans. The PPP was created during the early stages of the pandemic to provide business owners with cash so they wouldn't have to lay off workers. According to the Treasury Department, as long as the loans were used to cover payroll, they could be, and often have been, forgiven. Recently, many people have claimed that the average forgiven PPP loan was much larger than the 10 to 20 grand in forgiveness that many students are now receiving. This tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders says the average amount of debt forgiveness to businesses was more than $95,000. So let's verify. Is the average amount forgiven for PPP loans greater than $20,000? Our sources, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Education, and the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. That committee is a government agency tasked with tracking how pandemic relief funds get used. Out of a total 11.5 million PPP loans, more than 10 million were fully or partially forgiven. And the agency calculated that the average amount forgiven was $72,500. So where did Sanders get the 95,000 figure? Well, that was the average as of last year, when only about 4 million loans had been forgiven. Since then, millions of smaller loans have been processed, bringing the average down, according to the Small Business Administration. But when it comes to student loans, the max most people can get forgiven under Biden's plan is 20 grand. So even with the lower 72 grand figure for PPP loans, we can verify, yes, the average amount forgiven for PPP loans is greater than $20,000. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. All right, we have some shocking video. It's out of Argentina today, showing their Vice President, Cristina Fernandez, surviving an assassination attempt last night. I do want to give a warning. This content may be disturbing to watch because you really do see it. So sit this one out if you're not ready. So a man in the crowd pulls a gun, points it right at her face, point blank, and the gun jams as he pulls the trigger. The vice president was not hurt, but authorities said there were, get this guys, 5 bullets in the gun chamber. Listen to the gun jam in the second video from a different angle.
Wow.
They are trying, wow, let's give a second for just like, that was unbelievable. They're trying to figure out the shooter's motive, but we should note that the vice president is in court facing allegations of corruption, which she does deny. I also want to let you know that the man has been arrested, but they believe 5 people were involved in this plot. What? We just saw Shinzo Abe, the Prime Minister of Japan, get fully assassinated successfully. What did you think when you saw this?
She's lucky to be alive.
I know.
I mean, yeah, that's just crazy. I was like speechless, but also I thought about like hatred breeds violence. So I don't even know where they got the hatred to go after this woman in that way, because that would have been the most terrible thing that anyone, I mean, hopefully we wouldn't have been showing it, but like, that's just crazy.
My God. All right. Well, our thoughts, our prayers are with everyone there. Everyone's okay, but we do know it has legs, and we'll tell more as we get updates. Here's a question for you. How do you feel about a kids' soccer team for boys under 10 being sponsored by Hooters? The Hooters in the UK came out to wish good luck this season to the under 10 league that they're sponsoring. Hooters is, of course, known for their female servers in low-cut tops and bright orange shorts, but appear modest in the photos that they shared. It is unclear what the terms of the sponsorship are, but the boys will have Hooters logos on their jerseys. So should Hooters be associated with kids? Is this lighthearted? Is this funny? Are we sexualizing young boys? Erica Cobb, please talk to me.
I don't understand what the big deal is. Hooters is clearly a family restaurant. I can attest to that because I was a Hooters girl.
Thank you.
I had more families than my... Honestly,
no.
Yes. I was a Hooters girl. I was a calendar girl. Yes, this is not a secret. And I can tell you that 90% of the people that I served were families, and a big part of that reason is because you are having a family-style dining experience for the low. Like, it's cheap. So people will come in with their entire families. Soccer teams, all the kids. When the athletes would come in and sign like autographs and stuff, there'd be lines of kids. Like, there were more kids. I had more of those little plastic cups than just as many as I had beers most of the time.
Wow.
So I don't see what the big deal is at all.
Do you see a problem with it?
I really appreciate the jumpsuits that were worn. I feel like that's a really cute outfit. Plus, like, you know, when kids are little, I don't know. I feel like my little baby is just such a little baby. She's gonna see stuff, but I'm like, okay, we'll take it very slowly. But that's my perspective. I've never been to Hooters before in my life, so I don't even know what happens in there.
First of all, I think that's the
all
problem.
I have is the stigma of like big boobs in your face shaking around. Like, I don't know what happens in Hooters.
First of all, you can look at me and see that that's not true. I think that's what happens is people who've never been in the restaurant just make all of these assumptions about it. The outfits are not, I mean, you see far worse on Instagram.
Got it, okay.
You're not showing really, and I mean, yes, the shorts are shorts and the tank top is a tank top, but like, I had women coming in that were dressed far more scantily clothed than I was when I was working there. So if you haven't been there, maybe you should go. I would suggest Daytona wings naked, not breaded, okay? Because those are fire.
Is there one out here? Oh, yeah.
Are there any left?
I just know in LA, I would always go to Hooters because the wings were great. I really did.
The wings are good. Now, I like them naked.
Fair. Fair. So do a lot of people. But I will also say this. If you're going to put out Hooters for sponsoring, take a look at every other sponsorship of every other team to see if there was some corruption, because I'm sure, let's not cast stones in glass houses.
Got that analogy on the nail.
We'll be right back. Nailed it.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Darlings.
This time it's monkeypox, the rare but rarely deadly disease with symptoms similar to smallpox. The CDC's statistics show it's very uncommon in children, but with schools back in session, parents and teachers are asking, is it possible for monkeypox to spread through school surfaces like desks and sleeping mats? Our sources are the CDC, a recent monkeypox surface study conducted by the Utah Health Department, and Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
The most common way that monkeypox is transmitted is directly from person to person, and this involves skin-to-skin contact. A small number of cases could be transmitted by respiratory droplets. There are also sometimes people can get it from what we call in medicine fomites, which is the environment around us.
The CDC emphasizes the risk to children is low, though yes, again, it can spread through contaminated objects like toys, eating utensils, fabrics, and surfaces used by someone who has monkeypox. The Utah Health Department study took 30 specimens from a house with 2 people with monkeypox. Several items had traces of the virus, but none had a positive viral culture result, meaning the virus wasn't viable or infectious on those surfaces.
The surfaces that are most problematic are actually soft fabrics, so like bedding, towels, things that we would use somewhat intimately with skin-to-skin contact. Other surfaces, such as desks, doorknobs, telephones, are much less likely to become contaminated because the skin to direct contact would be quite unusual.
The CDC says the best disinfectants for monkeypox are the same ones you're using for COVID or any other emerging viral pathogen. EPA's pesticide product and label system search page allows you to see name brands and generics that perform best. At this point, the CDC is not recommending students stay out of school for monkeypox exposures, unless, of course, they have symptoms. At that point, the child's doctor and local health department should advise what to do and whether the vaccine might be an option. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Verify viewers are always on the lookout for the next potential scam, and we love when you ask us about suspicious claims and requests, like Karen did. She received this letter that claims to be from the federal government that asks her to answer questions about her passport. So Karen, let's verify. Is this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State legit? Our sources are the State Department, the Office of Management and Budget, and the U.S. Government Accountability Office. The State Department is responsible for issuing passports to Americans. Every month, the agency mails a letter like this and the one received by Karen to 35,000 addresses nationwide, inviting them to take part in a survey about passport demand. The survey asks questions about whether anyone in the home has a passport or will need one in the next few years. The State Department says it then uses this data to know when it needs to hire more people, build more infrastructure, and add resources to issue passports. So, yes, this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State is legit. The department says it may also call people who don't respond to the letter.
No time to run, no games. Your time has come today. Just stopping by to say we're taking over. We're made of this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over. We're made to win.
DBL is all new every day.
Say what we made for.
I love that song. That's a crazy song.
So impressed. That was beautiful. Well done, everyone. We're so excited for season 6. And
That's crazy.
So thankful for, of course, the audience that stays with us and grows every single season. Wow, what do you guys think?
It was nice. I liked all the dancing and the behind the scenes. You know, I love behind the scenes shots. What about you?
I just can't believe this is season 6.
I know.
Like, it feels like yesterday that we were auditioning for this show.
It does. It feels like a hot second, doesn't it? I'm very, very, very pleased to be in the dream job of my life. So thank you to everyone who watches. DBL's new every day. We will see you same time, same place on Monday. Be safe. And remember, everyone's fighting an uphill battle. Be kind, y'all. Be kind.
We're taking over.
We're taking over.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
No time to run, no games. Your time has come today. Just stopping by to say we're taking over. We're made of this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over. We're made to win.
DBL is all new every day.
Say what we made for.
talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
President Biden calls out MAGA Republicans as a threat to democracy, while former President Trump says he'll pardon January 6th rioters if he's elected again. An assassination attempt caught on camera. The shocking moment the gun jams as he points it at Argentina's vice president. Kanye is at it again on Instagram, posting his feud with Kim over the school choice for their kids. Will he ever stop making their problems public? And actress and comedian Cheri Oteri will be here live.
Oh my gosh. Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. We already have opinions over here. Tori, we're going to get to yours. Are you cracking your knuckles?
Yes, this is her. This is her game 7.
No,
That's right.
Wow. Like
You did.
I do it as a habit. I apologize.
Looks like you're getting ready for a good little showdown.
Yeah.
I was cracking my knuckles. I'm like, ooh, I ate some steak in Texas. Now Tori's like, politics.
Well, we are going to get into this. And listen, a lot of our viewers have opinions as well. So how many of you watched this? President Biden gave a primetime address last night framing the midterm elections as, quote unquote, battle for the soul of the nation. I want you to take a look.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. History tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy.
So what do you think of the president going after some MAGA Republicans like this? And DBL Nation, always want to hear from you. Did you find the president's speech to be unifying or divisive? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Tori, you were cracking your knuckles. Let us know what you're feeling.
It's a big moment. It's a big moment in Biden's presidency. It's a big moment in American history. It's an inflection point, and they turned the switch on, and they said, we're going after, and I want to be very clear here, he made it very clear, specific Republicans that are extremists. They don't believe the election was fair. They rushed into the Capitol. So if you're just a Republican conservative, we're not talking about you. I want to make that really clear.
I don't think that was clear, though, to be honest with you. I think that's the whole point of the discussion, is that wasn't clear, and it seemed like he alienated half of the country.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But if you actually watch the speech, he made the first 15 minutes extremely clear. I'm speaking to the extreme group of MAGA Republicans. He separated it. He did the best he could of trying to say, I'm not speaking to all of you. So if you listen to the speech, you would hear that. Kayleigh McEnany, Trump's former press secretary, said this. She did not like it. She said, standing in front of a hellish red background, Biden called half the country, like Jeff was saying, the MAGA Republicans, threats and clear and present dangers. Then he says, empathy is the fuel of democracy, the willingness to see each other not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. So a lot of people agree. They think that he polarized it more by calling it out. And I will say this from the bottom of my heart. To me, it is not polarizing to call out fascism. It is patriotic. And if you don't do it, you might want to take a look at what your party is leaning towards. If your party is all about one guy and disloyalty to any opposition, that's fascism. That's a problem. And we fought a whole war against that. So ask your parents and your grandparents how they felt about fascism in World War II. The idea that Trump really cares about those group of people is absurd. He's a grifter. He's a con man. He has gold toilets and doesn't think of the working guy. So all of this is so anti-American that it hurts when I realize people are getting conned. He stiffs people about money all the time. Well, he's stiffing the American public about being a leader of a democracy, because he isn't. He isn't.
Listen, I don't think this is about Trump, and I don't like that they just keep battling each other. Trump's not the president anymore. Right. You are. Right. So lead us, right? Unite us. Don't divide half the country, even though you said he explained that clearly. I don't think it was clear, right? That's fair. The blind loyalty he talks about is on his side. People just follow. I'm not allowed to question things up here. There's certain things I can't say, but when I go home in my little group and have my friends, I'm like, hey, could you believe this happened? I kind of feel like this, but I feel scared to say that because for the sake of my own job. The blind loyalty loyalty is on his side, not on this side.
Which party ran into the Capitol blindly with gallows to hang vice president? Not my party.
You're saying that now you're grouping everybody. You're saying the whole party.
Those who rushed the Capitol
are wrong.
Right.
Are wrong.
Right.
If you support the January 6th, you're wrong. If you ran in there, you're wrong. If you defend that or say that the election was stolen, you're wrong. That's a small percentage of the Republican Party.
It's pretty loud, isn't it? It's loud.
You're right. So is 90% of social media. We all know I say it 100 times, but it just goes through deaf ears. 10% of what's written on social media is 90% of the content.
I agree with you.
That's what's happening here. And the blind loyalty in this culture needs to stop. We need to be able to question things, have our freedom of speech. Since you talk about people fighting for our rights, we need to have freedom of speech and not be fired or put down or removed from situations for questioning whatever it is, not just Democratic or the Republic, just social.
I agree with you, Jeff. I actually agree with you.
You sound like a comic.
No,
honestly.
I totally agree
think,
with you, because how are we going to have conversations if people are blindly following Biden and blindly following Trump?
Let me ask you one thing, but it's not Biden. It's the Constitution that they're following.
Of course,
one is not and one is. And to me, I'm sick of being blamed for being polarizing when I didn't rush the Capitol. That is a group of people that is taking over this country.
We agree with you there. So let's
and you can't bring us back together if you don't examine them.
Right.
You cannot do it.
I agree with you with the insurrectionists. Let's call them insurrectionists right now until we can unpack it in a more thoughtful segment. But because we're talking about Trump, I do want to bring up how he responded to Biden's speech. So on his social media platform, Trump called the speech insane. He also said someone should explain to Biden slowly but passionately that MAGA means make America great again. Trump also called into a radio show yesterday and promised, now here's where I have a huge issue, which does go into what Tori is saying. He promised he would fully pardon the January 6th rioters, as well as ask for an apology from the government if he's reelected. Speaking of which, this retired New York police officer was sentenced to 10 years in prison yesterday for his role in the attack on the Capitol. That's the longest punishment handed down so far. And that's the individual who literally had like a pipe in his hand and was beating a police officer, trying to rip off that police officer's mask so he would suffocate because of the gas everywhere. So again, insurrectionists, criminals need to go to jail to the full extent of the law. What do you feel about both parts of our discussion so far?
I was fascinated, and I appreciate you guys having that conversation on TV, because I don't think it ever happens. You know, Tori, to your point, I think with Biden's speech and what Jeff was saying and why the two kind of go together is because that Biden did what you're not supposed to do, which is bring up the guy that's irrelevant. At this point, Biden has done a lot of the things he said he was going to do. He got a black woman on the Supreme Court. That's a campaign promise fulfilled. He said he was going to reduce student debt. People thought it was going to be eliminated, but $10,000. When we did that story 2 weeks ago, my homeboy Joey texted me during the segment and said his son, who just graduated from the University of Colorado, he's starting his life with no debts.
Nice.
Those are the stories that Biden should be telling people, because I know about Trump. We've all had 4 years to decide, and if you're pro-Trump, kind of Trump, don't watch politics, you already have an opinion about this man. You already have an opinion about Biden. And I feel like he had a lot of highlights, and he focused on the people that we already know about. That's where I thought it was a miss. I thought he's had a lot of hits. Gas is $3.60 where I was yesterday.
Focus on the positive.
Focus on that.
Let me just say one sentence to that. You are
say as many sentences as you want.
No, you are not fully politically fluent if you think you can ignore Trump. He is not irrelevant. He is the biggest threat to American democracy, and especially for the midterm elections. He is the #1 for a lot of people, and he will get people to the polls more than some other wedge issues. He is not irrelevant.
But going after him fuels him. Going after him fuels him.
Someone has to say stop.
Let's look. I appreciate this conversation because we all agree to what we're talking about, but there's levels to it.
Absolutely.
And that's how you have a conversation in this country. It looks like 53% of you believe that he tried to unify the country. 47% of you believe that it was divisive. Coming up on DBL, an assassination attempt on Argentina's vice president. We'll show you what happened after the gun jams. And Dr. Coley is here in the studio. We missed her. She's talking about the new COVID booster shots, and are they safe?
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stop by. We're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
I just don't know
quick?
Dang, it's on the bridge.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. The coffee here, it's not good. What do we do here? How do we get it better? What do we do? We got Keurig. We need help.
Yeah.
Sierra, it's terrible. It's terrible. Happy birthday, Sierra. Turned 26 yesterday. Happy birthday.
Sam's gonna ask you.
Tori, what were you doing at 26?
No.
Sierra, did you have a good birthday?
I did have a good birthday.
Yay, Sierra! I thought our conversation was really good because at the end of the day, you know, people think that you are either on this side or on that side, when I would hope we can all have duality of thought and say, listen, I think President Biden, to Al's point, did a number of really great things that honored his campaign promises. But then you can also, without being judged, saying that you're slamming Biden, say, I wish he would have focused on that to unify the country rather than going after a demographic who, by the way, aren't going to change their mind.
Right.
It's like when you shame someone, and I do not agree with Trump supporters, but I understand that if you put someone in a corner and shame them, they're just going to hate on you.
You can make
more.
the argument that Hillary Clinton with the basket of deplorables, that comment, has never gone away.
Yeah.
Like, I still see bumper stickers that say proud deplorable.
Yeah.
And that's to
You're
your
not gonna
point, Sam.
convince anyone.
When you put people in a corner and call them a name, it's just going to make them gel
Angry.
together, and
Yep.
they're not going to go anywhere. So
Yeah, or if you
I
say they're
get
being
it.
conned, even though I agree, Trump's a con man, just look at his history. But if you're going to tell someone that they're being conned, they're going to feel like a fool, and they're not going to listen to anything else that you're going to say. So you have to be a little bit more strategic and empathetic, in my opinion. Welcome back. We got Lady in Red in the corner. Love it, Dr. Coley. She's here to answer all our questions about these new COVID booster shots that just got approved by both the FDA and the CDC.
Let's jump right in, shall we?
That was the weirdest turn.
I know. Sam just stopped.
It was like you were like one of those CD players from the 90s. You just stopped talking. And I was like, are we still on the air?
I'm told that Jeff has a question he wants to get to, so I'm going to honor that, Jeff.
Okay.
Honor that? All right. Wow, we're very professional here on Friday. So I better look right at the camera. So Dr. Coley, these new booster shots are not without controversy. They're only tested in mice and Tori, and not humans. So talk to us about these boosters. Are they safe and effective?
You know, I'm glad you're asking me this, Jeff, because you've had a lot of questions about the vaccines all along. So I think coming from you, this is a really appropriate question.
But I'm double vaxxed.
Double vax.
And boosted.
And boosted.
And boosted.
Okay, and now you're going to go and get this booster after I'm done talking to you today, right?
Well, let's see what you have to say.
Okay. So the FDA actually purposely told them not to test them in humans because they wanted to greenlight it, because we already have more than enough data on the fact that they're safe. This is something we've been doing for decades. We do this every year with the flu, switch out the messenger RNA or switch out the DNA in the vaccine and just put in a new one. So for every strain, we don't need to repeat the trial. So safety, I'm not worried about. Efficacy is a little bit more of a question mark. So how well do they actually work? Now, you know, this is a little bit of a different booster than the one we've had before, but mice data tells us that it's 20-fold more effective than the one we had before against protecting against symptomatic infection from Omicron.
Yeah,
Great.
so that was going to be my question. How are these different? So they're 20 times better? That's how they're different? That's a good thing to put on the outside of the box?
This is a software upgrade. It is a huge upgrade for our booster. So the old booster had only one virus strain in it.
That was the Windows 98 booster.
Yeah, that's right. Cell version.
Yeah.
Sam's old cell phone.
Yeah, exactly.
She carries
Sam's
around.
old stuff.
So that was the Toyota of boosters.
Yeah.
This is the Tesla of boosters. Yeah.
Don't knock Toyota. They go forever.
I have a Prius. I love
I
it.
rock
So that
those.
was
She
very
drives a
good.
Tesla.
Oh, okay. Good plug.
So Toyotas are great. They're reliable, they work. But going faster with a Tesla, if you upgrade, and that's what we've done here. So instead of having just that one strain, which is the original one, we have that, plus we have, you know, the Omicron BA4 and 5, and that really allows for a higher level of antibody response, as well as hopefully a longer duration and more general coverage.
Good analogy.
All right, how important is it to get these shots, considering the fact that you can still catch COVID after getting boosted? Tell me about that.
So with the old booster, that was the case. With this one, we're hoping it's 20 times better. It's your Tesla booster that's going to hopefully make it not only a lot less likely to catch it, but a lot less likely to get infected.
I'd like upgrades.
Me too. Well, what should we do? Me too.
Right.
What should we do about our kids? And now I know a lot of our viewers either have grandkids or kids, and they're wondering, just like we are, like for my kids, they're both eligible right now to get their COVID vaccine. And I've been talking to you about which one should they get. Should they wait until a new upgraded version comes, or get in there now and then go get boosted later? What do we do?
You have to get the basic one. You have to get those 2 doses before you're eligible for this upgrade. So you have to put in your Toyota time before you're eligible for a Tesla. But the boosters, the upgraded boosters for kids are coming. So that'll be the next iteration. But you guys all need to go get your boosters, because anyone, regardless of their risk, regardless of whether they've had the infection, if they're at least 3 months out from their infection and at least 2 months out from their last shot, need to go and get a booster before the fall wave hits.
What about when we get our flu shot? Can we get both at the same time?
That's what I'm going to do.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. In fact, I think we should have a little party. What do you guys think?
Shot and a shot.
I don't go to parties with needles, but I did want to ask you.
Those are all the parties that I can have.
That's true. So, so if somebody's watching or myself, we log on to our healthcare provider and we say, I want to go get a booster. Is the Tesla booster available? Is that the one we're going to get today?
I want to wait for the Tesla
When is it
booster.
coming out?
Labor Day. So the CDC
really?
and
It's like a
FDA have
sale.
green-lighted it. They already, that's right, it's like a
Is
sale.
everybody eligible?
Everybody's eligible for at least 2 months out from your last shot, or at least 3 months out from your infection.
Well, what if you got infected and you don't know? Is it bad then to go get a booster?
No, not at all. It may not do much because you already have the protection from the infection. It won't hurt.
What about the saying you're not allowed to get boosters after Labor Day? Is that still relevant? No, I'm just kidding. Let me sneak in this last question. A new survey is out, and it showed that 2 in 3 adults don't know their blood type. I don't even know mine, and I've been looking for it. How important it is to know something like this, and does it have anything to do with? I've never gotten the virus, COVID. I forgot about what it was. That's a good thing.
And how do we find out our blood type?
Yeah.
So blood test, easy to know. Every single person should know it. In fact, put it in the back of your driver's license or something. If you're ever in a car accident, people need to know your blood type.
Oh, no.
If you have a loved one
guys.
who's in a car accident, you need to be a donor, you need to know your blood type. So I would say, and I'm disappointed, honestly, because I asked the producers a while ago, nobody knows it. Go and find out.
We need to find out. Now, you just sent me to go get my blood work done. Can I call them and they'll tell me?
It has to be a special test. So you have to do a blood type. It's called
Can I sneak in something very, very important? A friend of mine, his aunt needs O negative. I know it's difficult to find, so if anybody watching has O negative, please reach out to DBL. That just hit me. Yeah, sorry, but O negative. I guess it's real. They can donate to everybody,
Universal donor.
but they can't. They can only take O negative, right? So it's hard to find. So
Good to know.
if anybody watching has O negative, please, good lady.
Wow. Please reach out to DBL. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley. We appreciate you as always. We'll be right back.
President Biden just announced a plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for some people. When critics attacked the plan, the White House responded on Twitter by pointing out some of those critics had gotten even larger loans forgiven by the government. Those loans weren't student loans, they were Paycheck Protection Program loans. The PPP was created during the early stages of the pandemic to provide business owners with cash so they wouldn't have to lay off workers. According to the Treasury Department, as long as the loans were used to cover payroll, they could be, and often have been, forgiven. Recently, many people have claimed that the average forgiven PPP loan was much larger than the 10 to 20 grand in forgiveness that many students are now receiving. This tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders says the average amount of debt forgiveness to businesses was more than $95,000. So let's verify. Is the average amount forgiven for PPP loans greater than $20,000? Our sources, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Education, and the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. That committee is a government agency tasked with tracking how pandemic relief funds get used. Out of a total 11.5 million PPP loans, more than 10 million were fully or partially forgiven. And the agency calculated that the average amount forgiven was $72,500. So where did Sanders get the 95,000 figure? Well, that was the average as of last year, when only about 4 million loans had been forgiven. Since then, millions of smaller loans have been processed, bringing the average down, according to the Small Business Administration. But when it comes to student loans, the max most people can get forgiven under Biden's plan is 20 grand. So even with the lower 72 grand figure for PPP loans, we can verify, yes, the average amount forgiven for PPP loans is greater than $20,000. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. Some shocking video out of Argentina today showing their vice president, Cristina Fernandez, surviving an assassination attempt last night. A warning to our viewers, this content may be disturbing. Now watch, a man in the crowd pulls a gun, points it right in her face. The gun jams as he pulls the trigger. Now the vice president wasn't hurt, but authorities said there were 5 bullets in the gun chamber. Now listen to the gun jam in this second video from a different angle. Listen. So they are trying to figure out the shooter's motive, but we should note that the vice president is currently in court facing corruption allegations, which she does deny, I should say. Tori, how crazy is this? I don't even know the odds of a gun jamming.
With 5 bullets in it, directly at her face on camera like that, that was divine intervention, if you ever believe in something like that. I will also say that man has been arrested, and they think 5, but that one has been arrested.
They think there's 5 additional?
They think there is a plot with 5 people. They have one in custody, but it was some kind of, they think, Brazilian nationalist group. And we're just trying to figure it all out. I mean, it was in her inches.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you for that additional context, Story. Okay, so here's a question for you. How do you feel about a kids soccer team for boys under 10 being sponsored by Hooters? The Hooters in the UK came out to wish good luck this season to the under 10 league they're sponsoring. Hooters, of course, is known for their female servers in low-cut tops and bright orange shorts, but appear modest in the photos they shared. Now, it's unclear what the terms of the sponsorship are, but the boys will have Hooters logos on their jerseys. So question again, should Hooters be associated with kids 10 and under? Is this funny, lighthearted, or are we sexualizing young boys? What would you say to this with 2 young boys?
I'm all for it. Hooters is a chain restaurant now. Everybody knows what Hooters is. It's not a sexualized, maybe it is in some people's eyes, but you could bring your family there, right? If you were sponsored by the New York Jets and the cheerleaders came to take a picture, would you say, get out of here?
And they wouldn't be dressed like that.
Right, and they actually wore some, I appreciate that, Tori, thank you.
Poetry slam.
Yeah, they actually wore like sweatpants and stuff. They didn't go into traditional outfits. I'm all for this, and they're paying for it, by the way.
I also think just before you cast stones, look at every single person that's been a sponsorship. I'm sure there's been some corruption on those ends too. Hooters, to me, again, family restaurant. I think I've been there. I like their wings. I don't have an issue with it.
Listen, I'll play devil's advocate here. I used to go to the Hooters all the time. I had friends that worked there in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard.
That's where I would go too.
I'm not talking about the waitresses. I'm talking about some of the patrons. Some of the patrons and my friends would complain, would call out to them, whistle at them, grope them. Now, when I used to play soccer, we would go to the sponsorships establishment afterwards. So we'd go to Village Host Pizza afterwards and enjoy pizza. I don't know if I would bring Sophie to Hooters, considering the misogyny that I personally have seen and my friends that have been waitresses there have experienced. So I see both sides.
Right. I mean, definitely, and I'm glad you brought that up, but there's also, we can't just talk about Hooters. If we're talking about young women being hypersexualized around drunk male patrons, I think, unfortunately, that probably happens at the ESPN zone and Dave and Buster's, and any place where an alcoholic beverage is served. And I don't want to punish a franchise that's trying to do good here. You know, look, I'm happy we're doing this story, Sam, and I appreciate what you're saying. I'm happy we're doing this rather than the CEO doing something terrible. They're trying to do something good. They showed up looking appropriate, and they're sponsoring this. What do we do?
Good point, Al.
Like, let's get them, get those kids some new uniforms. Good luck.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Darling.
This time it's monkeypox, the rare but rarely deadly disease with symptoms similar to smallpox. The CDC's statistics show it's very uncommon in children, but with schools back in session, parents and teachers are asking, is it possible for monkeypox to spread through school surfaces like desks and sleeping mats? Our sources are the CDC, a recent monkeypox surface study conducted by the Utah Health Department, and Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
The most common way that monkeypox is transmitted is directly from person to person, and this involves skin-to-skin contact. A small number of cases could be transmitted by respiratory droplets. There are also sometimes people can get it from what we call in medicine fomites, which is the environment around us.
The CDC emphasizes the risk to children is low, though yes, again, it can spread through contaminated objects like toys, eating utensils, fabrics, and surfaces used by someone who has monkeypox. The Utah Health Department study took 30 specimens from a house with 2 people with monkeypox. Several items had traces of the virus, but none had a positive viral culture result, meaning the virus wasn't viable or infectious on those surfaces.
The surfaces that are most problematic are actually soft fabrics, so like bedding, towels, things that we would use somewhat intimately with skin-to-skin contact. Other surfaces, such as desks, doorknobs, telephones, are much less likely to become contaminated because the skin to direct contact would be quite unusual.
The CDC says the best disinfectants for monkeypox are the same ones you're using for COVID or any other emerging viral pathogen. EPA's pesticide product and label system search page allows you to see name brands and generics that perform best. At this point, the CDC is not recommending students stay out of school for monkeypox exposures, unless, of course, they have symptoms. At that point, the child's doctor and local health department should advise what to do and whether the vaccine might be an option. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Verify viewers are always on the lookout for the next potential scam, and we love when you ask us about suspicious claims and requests, like Karen did. She received this letter that claims to be from the federal government that asks her to answer questions about her passport. So Karen, let's verify. Is this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State legit? Our sources are the State Department, the Office of Management and Budget, and the U.S. Government Accountability Office. The State Department is responsible for issuing passports to Americans. Every month, the agency mails a letter like this and the one received by Karen to 35,000 addresses nationwide, inviting them to take part in a survey about passport demand. The survey asks questions about whether anyone in the home has a passport or will need one in the next few years. The State Department says it then uses this data to know when it needs to hire more people, build more infrastructure, and add resources to issue passports. So, yes, this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State is legit. The department says it may also call people who don't respond to the letter.
All right, so we got some comments in regard to Hooters. NP says someone probably approached Hooters to be the sponsor.
Yes.
And then Julia says, well, maybe Hooters could have a family section.
Yeah, they do.
The restaurant.
There's like little league teams in there, and yeah.
They don't have a family section.
But it's a family-style restaurant, isn't it?
No, you guys, it's not a family-style restaurant.
I think
it's not the same as
Sure
like
it is.
Yeah, it
pizza.
is.
What? If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, also our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Comedian and actress Cheri Oteri is going to be here live. She's telling us all about what it was like during her years on SNL. Plus, Kanye and Kim are feuding about where their kids should go to school. We're going to talk all about it.
Whether you love it or hate it, pumpkin spice season is here, and people are using the flavoring in all sorts of foods and drinks. But despite its popularity, some people are still confused about what actually goes into the pumpkin spice seasoning in a pumpkin spice latte. This person on Twitter claims there isn't any pumpkin in pumpkin spice. But is that true? Let's verify. We spoke to a spice expert, a licensed dietitian and nutritionist, and spice manufacturer McCormick & Company to get to the bottom of this.
There is no pumpkin in the spice, but it's a blend of different spices that historically were used with pumpkin in pumpkin pies or pumpkin puddings.
The blend usually contains 4 to 5 other spices you probably have in your cabinet: cinnamon, ginger, cloves, nutmeg, and allspice. Spice giant McCormick & Company first introduced a commercial pumpkin pie spice to the US in 1934. The goal was to flavor pumpkin pie all in one container, rather than bakers needing to get each individual spice. So we can verify, no, pumpkin spice does not contain any pumpkin. But despite the lack of pumpkin-y goodness in pumpkin spice, both Frisch and Andrew say it's still possible the latte drink that you order may in fact contain pumpkin these days. And as it turns out, we can verify that the PSL at Starbucks has both pumpkin spice seasoning, which does not contain pumpkin, and real pumpkin. It says so right here on the drink's ingredient list. With your Verify and my very own pumpkin spice latte, I'm Ariane Till.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll. Welcome to DBL. We have so much to talk about. Let's start with, I'm sure a lot of you saw this. I was like refreshing my Instagram in real time yesterday when this was happening. So some public family feuds are making the headlines. The one I'm referring to involves Kanye West and his take on Kim and where she's sending their kids to school. So Kanye posted and then deleted many text messages saying that Kim shouldn't have the only say on what school the kids should go to. Kanye wants the kids to go to his newly established Donda Academy, but they apparently attend a private school near their home in Calabasas. He also accused Kim of feeling entitled to decide about their kids' education because she's, quote, half white. Kanye also took on Kris Jenner, who allegedly said she wants Kanye to stop mentioning her name because at 67, it stresses her out. Kanye then responded by saying he won't allow his children to do Playboy or sex tapes. So anybody see this in real time like I did coincidentally yesterday?
No.
Oh
How'd you see this?
Gosh, I don't know, but I fell down that rabbit hole.
What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were anger because Kanye could totally have a point. But to do this so publicly, to me, felt like a manipulation control, and it felt very toxic. And it's almost like when you're in a fight with someone and their last straw is to do something like to announce it to the room, just to like humiliate you. Mm-hmm. It's like
hence the Playboy tapes.
Exactly. Yeah. Like handle it privately, please. You may have a point. You may have a say where, of course, where your children go to school. You may be in the right. I don't know. But to involve the public like that is absolutely atrocious and abusive. That is abuse. That's abuse. I just want to end it right there.
I'm with you on that, and I usually take Kanye's side, right? I'm a Kanye fan. I believe he's genius, and that that line is blurred there. And now I kind of want to get your take on it because we usually have the same opinion. But in this case, right, I question his Donda Academy. Number one, I think he's genius, but I don't know if the curriculum fits what America is teaching.
It's
right. I think it might be amazing, right, because of his ideology. But I do question some of that. Calling out his ex-wife, who he has kids with, you're biased because of your education, because you're white. That's not necessary, right? And then when he's saying at the end, well, I don't want my kids to be a stripper or sex tapes. You had kids with this woman. Yeah, you loved her at one point in your life. So now you're holding all these things that you loved at one point against her and for ransom. And really, who are we talking about here? The children. So right. I don't like this, Al.
All I ever hear is you guys talking about your children. Sam was talking about how your kids were up like roosters this morning.
Gosh.
And
so tired.
And we do it, and we don't ask for accolades because we love it, and we love them so much that nothing within our power is going to hurt them. And so to see this back and forth, Kanye I think this is going to be a pattern of behavior, as it has been for some years. But I hope somebody steps away from the Kardashians because their life is not anybody's lives. But what will apply to most people's lives is if they do have a split, there's going to be a lot of bad blood. And what you need to do with that is not text things about sex tapes or you're overweight or you're half white, whatever you want to, and go get a judgment.
Yeah.
That's why people pay for lawyers. If there's an issue with schools, there should be printed paper on legal heading that says, here's where they go to school. Here's the weekends you get, Jeff. Here's the holidays you get, Tori. And anything else is just dust in the wind, because if you're going back and forth, you're giving that person the illusion that they can change something. And unless they go down to that courthouse, they cannot.
Yeah, and very quickly,
final thought.
All of this is discovery for Kim. In the court case, they can bring all of this up and say, look how absolutely erratic he is, look how racially charged he is. She could get custody because of the temper tantrum he's having on the internet.
In front of the whole world.
In front of the whole world.
Yep. Another family feud that is really ticking me off. Britney Spears is once again calling her kids out online. It's over an interview her 15-year-old son Jaden gave to a British TV network. Jaden revealed he hasn't seen his mom in months and that their relationship is strained. Watch.
I 100% think it can be fixed, of course, but I think it's just going to take a lot of time and effort. I really want to see her again.
Jaden also said he wants Britney to get better mentally. Britney responded on Instagram and lashed out at Kevin Federline for allowing their son to speak to the media about personal matters. To Jaden, she added, quote, on the issue of my mental health, my dear child, understand you must learn to pick up a book and read one before you resort to even thinking about my intellect. Sorry, Britney Spears, I've defended you until this very moment. How dare you talk about your son to the entire world, who's 15 years old, who is not an adult like you are, and demean him in front of the entire world. He is an innocent child, and you have brought the entire situation onto your Instagram before Jaden ever did. Kevin Federline, I can treat separately. Maybe he's just as guilty. But in this moment, I don't care what Jaden says. That is your child, and you just publicly humiliated him. Not okay with it.
I have a somewhat unpopular opinion.
I think you speak for a lot of people.
And I also understand that all three of you are parents. So please know I am very aware of that. So there's a difference
dog
there.
mom.
I'm a dog mom. That's different than children. I understand that. So, But I will say this. Legally, Britney Spears is more than just a mom. She is a public figure with a whole brand and an entire mogul of things happening. And forever, she's had an entire team against her, work against her, right? With lawyers, with Jamie, with Kevin. Someone set up this 15-year-old to get an interview with the British. He didn't just choose to do it. Someone on their side set that up. That's also disgusting, in my opinion. If she doesn't speak back, she's back in the conservatorship. She has no voice. She has no way of saying anything. The only way Britney can say anything is to publicly say it, because it's the only people that support her are the public. Now, do I think they're both in the wrong? Absolutely.
Who both?
Wait, you think he's in the wrong?
A 15-year-old's in the wrong?
I think the team, Jamie, Kevin, someone set that 15-year-old up to have a discussion about his mother's mental capacity. He doesn't know. He didn't set that interview up.
I don't feel comfortable calling him somewhat guilty. I cannot.
I'm not saying the 15, I'm saying the team behind him. I don't think he did anything. I think he was set up to be on this thing, to be a pawn in what has become this terrible chess game.
Maybe that's what Britney should have said. Maybe that's what Britney should have said instead of demeaning her son and telling him to pick up a book.
I hear that.
I can't imagine. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Sam on this one. Like, Britney's talking about not putting her life in the media, and then she attacks her son in the media. My dear child, pick up a book. I would never say that about my child, ever. No matter what we are going through, I wouldn't put my kid through that. Is there a chance, we talked about blind loyalty in the beginning of the show, is there a chance Britney Spears is unwell and that what is being said about her perhaps might be true? We have this blind loyalty towards Britney Spears, and everything against her, it was everyone else's fault but hers. Is she maybe at fault?
It's not blind if a judge declared she wasn't an abusive
A judge also declared some really wacky things that I've never heard of. Getting an IUD put in because of your mental state. A lot of other things that I've never even heard of. And I know some people who know some people that are mentally
if you're
unwell.
Really mentally not well, you shouldn't be able to go.
But I'm saying I haven't heard of a couple of these things had we not talked about Britney Spears. Obviously, something has to be wrong with her, is the point I'm trying to make here. I'm not trying to demean her. And something has to be wrong, but we just blindly go in and be like, hey, everyone treated Britney Spears, and it's her dad and her sister and her brother and Kevin Federline and her kids. It's like, maybe it's her.
Or they could both, I agree, it could both be true. I just think that she's never had the microphone, ever.
You're right.
And now
You're
she
right.
does.
Yeah,
And I'm glad she does. Yeah. I just want her to leave her children out.
I agree with that. I would agree.
Oh, Sam hates you.
I know.
Coming up on DBL, what a good talk. Cheri Oteri, you guys, gonna be here live. We cannot wait to talk with her about her brand new movie coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stop by.
Welcome back. I cannot wait for her new movie. Our next guest made us laugh on Saturdays Live from New York, and now she is joined by an amazing, hilarious cast for Comedy Central's new movie, Cheri Oteri. Welcome to DBL.
Yes.
Whoa, what's up?
Hi, Cheri. This is great.
You look like you're pondering something.
This is very exciting.
No, I'm just hoping nothing falls. You should have seen me setting up. It's like this, everything was falling.
She's like, nobody
I'll try
move.
to keep still.
Nobody
just
move.
don't sneeze or cough.
Yeah, everyone stay
I know,
still.
right?
Tell me about, Cheri, was there an SNL sketch that was somewhat challenging, but worth it in the end? Because you did what I love was the physical part, and I'm such a physical comedian. I really look up to you. What was the hardest one for you, the most worth it?
Well, the hardest one was not physical. It was, I would have to say, probably doing Barbara Walters, because I didn't go in doing any impressions, but I was kind of strongly made to do her, and oh God, and I just knew that I had to have like a different take on it, and you know, Gilda was so iconic doing her, and once I did do her and the audience kind of like accepted it, I had more fun doing her than ever. And that picture, that was one of the highlights of my career, was getting to interview her as her.
That's
amazing. And yeah, I would say I got more bang out of the buck of doing Barbara Walters than, you know, doing her on New Year's Eve with Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper. It was just like, she's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, right. I used to just love watching those skits way back, you know, when, and like how even like the lighting would be all blurred. Right. You were so good. Okay, but we got to talk about your new movie. A lot of people are anticipating it. It's called Out of Office. Now, based on the trailer, this is my interpretation. It seems like you play the tough love mom. Is that true? Tell us more about your character.
Oh my gosh. It's, first of all, I'm doing it with Jason Alexander, who is a doll, and he made me laugh. Yes, it's good cop, bad cop. I'm definitely bad cop, and it's really funny to be bad cop and then see Jason Alexander as the softie, dad. But yeah, we are trying to get her out of the house because we're moving, actually, and all I want to do is go to Paris, and I just want this girl to get a job and be able to take care of herself so I can go to Paris without guilt. But I think she's going to go to Paris with or without guilt, you know. But yeah, it was, and being a part of like this crazy ensemble of talented people was, I wish I would have gotten to work with them more. But the cast is just so incredible and stellar. And yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because it's almost like, you know, the NBA All-Star Game. There's it's such a crazy cast. There's so many incredible comics. Like, what is like, who made you laugh? Because there's like guys that make the people in the industry laugh. So who's the comic in the back of the room in that setting?
Oh my God, they all made me laugh, and I'll say, like, you know, Leslie and Ken together. Whoever thought of that is just brilliant. I mean, those two together, it's just so funny on so many levels, and they were so funny. Everybody was, you know, I mean, the whole cast. I watched the movie the other day, and I was just like, this is so fun. And it really does reflect what the past 2 years have been like, with people working from home and remotely. And I think the movie was going to be called Remote, but they changed it to Out of Office. But yeah, it really is a great reflection of these past 2 years and, you know, doing business at home remotely.
So speaking about that, you just mentioned it's about working from home. We all know about the embarrassing things that could happen during a video call. We had them happen to us over the past 2 years. What did you have to deal with during a video call?
Well, I so related to being a dog mommy.
Yeah. Tori, that's
and
you.
For me, it's the dogs. And the funny thing is, someone said to me once, you know, Cheri, you can press your mute button, and I never thought about that.
Right. Guilty.
I never thought about, so I would just be like, I'm talking and shut up! I'm in a meeting, which of course is way worse than the barking.
Now you're louder than the bark.
But I never even thought to press my mute button, and I was like, oh my God, of course.
That's hilarious. Oh
Cheri,
my God.
you and Tori got a lot in common.
Yeah.
You and Tori got a lot in common.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? Right now, I am fostering a 5-month-old German Shepherd.
Oh, Mazel. Mazel tov.
Yeah, I've got 2 of my own rescues, and over the pandemic, I found and fostered and found homes for 4 dogs.
Good for you, Cheri.
It is the best. There's like nothing more fulfilling.
Cheri. We need more of you.
Absolutely.
We really do. You and Tori are kindred spirits.
You rescue them, they rescue you right back. Cheri Oteri is what you are.
Okay, all right. All right. We gotta go. It was great chatting with you, Cheri. To our viewers, you have to. We all need a good laugh. You gotta check out Out of Office. It premieres Monday, September 5th on Comedy Central. We'll be right back. Thank you, Cheri.
Lovely meeting you, Cheri.
You're welcome.
Baza Wawa.
Suffer from.
President Biden just announced a plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for some people. When critics attacked the plan, the White House responded on Twitter by pointing out some of those critics had gotten even larger loans forgiven by the government. Those loans weren't student loans, they were Paycheck Protection Program loans. The PPP was created during the early stages of the pandemic to provide business owners with cash so they wouldn't have to lay off workers. According to the Treasury Department, as long as the loans were used to cover payroll, they could be, and often have been, forgiven. Recently, many people have claimed that the average forgiven PPP loan was much larger than the 10 to 20 grand in forgiveness that many students are now receiving. This tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders says the average amount of debt forgiveness to businesses was more than $95,000. So let's verify. Is the average amount forgiven for PPP loans greater than $20,000? Our sources, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Education, and the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. That committee is a government agency tasked with tracking how pandemic relief funds get used. Out of a total 11.5 million PPP loans, more than 10 million were fully or partially forgiven. And the agency calculated that the average amount forgiven was $72,500. So where did Sanders get the 95,000 figure? Well, that was the average as of last year, when only about 4 million loans had been forgiven. Since then, millions of smaller loans have been processed, bringing the average down, according to the Small Business Administration. But when it comes to student loans, the max most people can get forgiven under Biden's plan is 20 grand. So even with the lower 72 grand figure for PPP loans, we can verify, yes, the average amount forgiven for PPP loans is greater than $20,000. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. Labor Day is coming up, and for some, this means wearing white after the holidays off limits. Turns out this is actually an old rule based on class. But what about some other fashion rules, like not wearing horizontal stripes, or never to wear brown with black? And here's one of my favorite rules to break. You know me, I like to mix patterns. Right? This is actually a current fashion trend. So are all of these rules a thing of the past? Look, there we go. Yep. Are these rules, Tori, in your opinion, a thing of the past, or do you follow these rules?
I genuinely don't wear white after Labor Day.
You don't?
No.
I've never followed this.
I thought it was a thing that, I don't know where it came from when our producer Anthony said it was a class thing. If you could afford white, you could go on vacation, and it separated you from the working class, the actual color of your outfit.
If you could afford to go on vacation,
right.
You would wear white because, you know, it's a lot hotter in those climates.
The sun is coming on. The sun.
You said if you could afford white.
You could afford white to go on vacation.
White was very expensive back then.
It's the one material.
Wait a second. You want to buy this shirt? What do you do for a living?
But yeah, I don't wear white after Labor Day. Do you guys?
Yes.
I do.
I don't.
What?
You're the one person who can.
I never do.
I don't know many situations where, quite frankly, I can pull off white pants.
Yes, you could.
No, I could not.
You don't think
if somebody shows up to a party with white pants, you're already
No. How about this? Mexico vacation.
all right, I need to put 5 more years on it, and then I could see some white linen,
pleated
like
linen?
the kind of white, like
5 more years on it?
because you got to be 50. You got to be like about to get in that good living.
Oh, you're
you know,
so right.
your kids are grown and like your house is paid for. That's a different kind of feeling when you're like 52.
No, I'm already.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
No, he's right. You know Martine Watkins, who's been on the show.
course.
She's a dear friend, but her dad, iconically, Michael Watkins, always, and he's our superintendent, always with his white linen pants.
It's a statement.
Now, it's a statement. I mean, I appreciate it. When Michael Watkins walks in the room, I appreciate those white linen pants. I'm curious.
What's happening with the description?
It's a lot.
Are you a magician? You're like.
I am. You didn't know that? Now you just ruined your pocket.
No, it just goes right back in.
Al, I caught him in the wardrobe room carefully steaming your pocket square.
I like to steam things. It's super relaxing for me.
Vegetables?
I like to saute vegetables, actually. Quick question for Jeff.
We're out of time. Okay.
White tux or black tux?
Oh.
All white or all black?
All black.
All black.
All black.
White tux. Who wears a
Ben
white
Affleck
James
wore
Bond?
one. Yeah,
He rocks the white.
Unless I'm going to Jay-Z's party, I'm going to be all black.
He did do the white party.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny. We'll be right back.
You can't say that's funny.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
This time it's monkeypox, the rare but rarely deadly disease with symptoms similar to smallpox. The CDC's statistics show it's very uncommon in children, but with schools back in session, parents and teachers are asking, is it possible for monkeypox to spread through school surfaces like desks and sleeping mats? Our sources are the CDC, a recent monkeypox surface study conducted by the Utah Health Department, and Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
The most common way that monkeypox is transmitted is directly from person to person, and this involves skin-to-skin contact. A small number of cases could be transmitted by respiratory droplets. There are also sometimes people can get it from what we call in medicine fomites, which is the environment around us.
The CDC emphasizes the risk to children is low, though yes, again, it can spread through contaminated objects like toys, eating utensils, fabrics, and surfaces used by someone who has monkeypox. The Utah Health Department study took 30 specimens from a house with 2 people with monkeypox. Several items had traces of the virus, but none had a positive viral culture result, meaning the virus wasn't viable or infectious on those surfaces.
The surfaces that are most problematic are actually soft fabrics, so like bedding, towels, things that we would use somewhat intimately with skin-to-skin contact. Other surfaces, such as desks, doorknobs, telephones, are much less likely to become contaminated because the skin to direct contact would be quite unusual.
The CDC says the best disinfectants for monkeypox are the same ones you're using for COVID or any other emerging viral pathogen. EPA's pesticide product and label system search page allows you to see name brands and generics that perform best. At this point, the CDC is not recommending students stay out of school for monkeypox exposures, unless, of course, they have symptoms. At that point, the child's doctor and local health department should advise what to do and whether the vaccine might be an option. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Verify viewers are always on the lookout for the next potential scam, and we love when you ask us about suspicious claims and requests, like Karen did. She received this letter that claims to be from the federal government that asks her to answer questions about her passport. So Karen, let's verify. Is this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State legit? Our sources are the State Department, the Office of Management and Budget, and the U.S. Government Accountability Office. The State Department is responsible for issuing passports to Americans. Every month, the agency mails a letter like this and the one received by Karen to 35,000 addresses nationwide, inviting them to take part in a survey about passport demand. The survey asks questions about whether anyone in the home has a passport or will need one in the next few years. The State Department says it then uses this data to know when it needs to hire more people, build more infrastructure, and add resources to issue passports. So, yes, this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State is legit. The department says it may also call people who don't respond to the letter.
Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time's come today. Just stopping by. We're taking over.
DBL is all new every day.
Are you making fun of my dancing?
You're doing some mom car dancing. That's
what
when you're
about
in the.
her over there?
What are you talking about?
No.
Oh yeah, I have one pose.
Yeah.
And all my pictures, and Jeff spotted it.
We're going on season 6.
It's the same
Jeff,
pose.
you look the same with those.
Sam, do the pose really quick.
No.
Oh, it's like this every season. I don't know
it's
what
like
to do
you're
with my
trying
long
to show people to
dangly
donate
arms.
blood.
So I just because they're so
Donate
long.
blood.
I have long arms.
You have gorgeous
I need.
limbs.
Thank you. I need to show you
Did
a
you say
response.
she said gorgeous limbs?
Yes, she does. She's got gorgeous, long, beautiful.
So you're trying to make up for the Britney fight.
I am.
Yeah.
I feel bad about the Britney fight because I'm the one that's going to get attacked by Britney fans.
You might be right in this whole thing.
I need to give you a response. We have a fan, my mom, but my mom's a dork. My mom sent
Both
me
can be true.
one of the most iconic Winnie the Pooh quotes, because you told me Winnie the Pooh does nothing, and I said Winnie the Pooh stands for friendship. Here is
From yesterday's show.
For yesterday's show. Here's a famous Winnie the Pooh quote. Don't walk behind me. I may not lead. Don't walk in front of me. I may not follow. Just walk beside me and be my friend.
Wow. Are we sure it's a direct quote from him?
Yeah, it is.
I think that's from the Bible.
I think you should.
No, it's a quote.
No, and also, what am I supposed to do with that at 5 years old?
know.
And that's exactly my point. I'm not saying when he was bad. I'm just saying super boring.
I think we should all just walk off because the show's over.
No, I'm standing
me
by
on that.
You're
my
going to
winning
say that to
stance.
Heidi Shocker? Say it right now to Heidi Shocker.
Say it.
I love you, Heidi.
You took it back.
I'm not coming to nobody's mama.
That's
Thank
right.
you for watching.
That's right. That's right. We love you guys. Have a great weekend.
And wear white on Tuesday if you could afford it.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how, that's local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time's come today. Just stopping by to say, we're taking over. We're made of this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over. We're made to win.
DBL is all new every day.
Say what we're made for. We're made of this.
We're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
President Biden calls out MAGA Republicans as a threat to democracy, while former President Trump says he'll pardon January 6th rioters if he's elected again. An assassination attempt caught on camera. The shocking moment the gun jams as he points it at Argentina's vice president. Kanye is at it again on Instagram, posting his feud with Kim over the school choice for their kids. Will he ever stop making their problems public? And actress and comedian Cheri Oteri will be here live.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. We already have opinions over here. Tori, we're going to get to yours. Are you cracking your knuckles?
Yes, this is her. This is her game 7.
No,
That's right.
Wow.
You did.
I do it as a habit. I apologize.
Looks like you're getting ready for a good little showdown.
Yeah.
I was cracking my knuckles. I'm like, ooh, I ate some steak in Texas. Now Tori's like, politics.
Well, we are going to get into this. And listen, a lot of our viewers have opinions as well. So how many of you watched this? President Biden gave a primetime address last night framing the midterm elections as, quote unquote, battle for the soul of the nation. I want you to take a look.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. History tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy.
So what do you think of the president going after some MAGA Republicans like this? And DBL Nation, always want to hear from you. Did you find the president's speech to be unifying or divisive? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Tori, you were cracking your knuckles. Let us know what you're feeling.
It's a big moment. It's a big moment in Biden's presidency. It's a big moment in American history. It's a inflection point, and they turned the switch on, and they said, we're going after, and I want to be very clear here, he made it very clear, specific Republicans that are extremists. They don't believe the election was fair. They rushed into the Capitol. So if you're just a Republican conservative, we're not talking about you. I want to make that really clear.
I don't think that was clear, though. To be honest with you, I think that's the whole point of the discussion,
Well,
is that wasn't clear, and it seemed like he alienated half of the country.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But if you actually watch the speech, he made the first 15 minutes extremely clear. I'm speaking to the extreme group of MAGA Republicans. He separated it. He did the best he could of trying to say, I'm not speaking to all of you. So if you listen to the speech, you would hear that. Kayleigh McEnany, Trump's former press secretary, said this. She did not like it. She said, standing in front of a hellish red background, Biden called half the country, like Jeff was saying, the MAGA Republicans, threats and clear and present dangers. Then he says, empathy is the fuel of democracy, the willingness to see each other not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. So a lot of people agree. They think that he polarized it more by calling it out. And I will say this from the bottom of my heart. To me, it is not polarizing to call out fascism. It is patriotic. And if you don't do it, you might want to take a look at what your party is leaning towards. If your party is all about one guy and disloyalty to any opposition, that's fascism. That's a problem. And we fought a whole war against that. So ask your parents and your grandparents how they felt about fascism in World War II. The idea that Trump really cares about those group of people is absurd. He's a grifter. He's a con man. He has gold toilets and doesn't think of the working guy. So all of this is so anti-American that it hurts when I realize people are getting conned. He stiffs people about money all the time. Well, he's stiffing the American public about being a leader of a democracy, because he isn't. He isn't.
Liz, I don't think this is about Trump, and I don't like that they just keep battling each other. Trump's not the president anymore. Right. You are. Right. So lead us, right? Unite us. Don't divide half the country, even though you said he explained that clearly. I don't think it was clear, right? That's fair. The blind loyalty he talks about is on his side. People just follow. I'm not allowed to question things up here. There's certain things I can't say, but when I go home in my little group and have my friends, I'm like, hey, could you believe this happened? I kind of feel like this, but I feel scared to say that because for the sake of my own job. The blind loyalty is on his side, not on this side.
Which party ran into the Capitol blindly with gallows to hang vice president? Not my party.
You're saying that now you're grouping everybody. You're saying the whole party.
Those who rushed the Capitol
are wrong. Right. Are wrong. Right. If you support the January 6th, you're wrong. If you ran in there, you're wrong. If you defend that or say that the election was stolen, you're wrong. That's a small percentage of the Republican Party.
It's pretty loud, isn't it? It's loud.
You're right. So is 90% of social media. We all know I say it 100 times, but it just goes through deaf ears. 10% of what's written on social media is 90% of the content.
I agree with you.
That's what's happening here. And the blind loyalty in this culture needs to stop. We need to be able to question things, have our freedom of speech. Since you talk about people fighting for our rights, we need to have freedom of speech and not be fired or put down or removed from situations for questioning whatever it is, not just Democratic or the Republic, just social.
I agree with you, Jeff. I actually agree with you.
You sound like a comic. Honestly.
No, I totally agree with you, because how are we going to have conversations if people are blindly following Biden and blindly following Trump?
Let me ask one thing, but it's not Biden, it's the Constitution that they're following.
Of course,
one is not and one is. And to me, I'm sick of being blamed for being polarizing when I didn't rush the Capitol. That is a group of people that is taking over this country.
We agree with you there. So let's
and you can't bring us back together if you don't examine them.
Right.
You cannot do it.
I agree with you with the insurrectionists. Let's call them insurrectionists right now until we can unpack it in a more thoughtful segment. But because we're talking about Trump, I do want to bring up how he responded to Biden's speech. So on his social media platform, Trump called the speech insane. He also said someone should explain to Biden slowly but passionately that MAGA means make America great again. Trump also called into a radio show yesterday and promised, now here's where I have a huge issue, which does go into what Tori is saying. He promised he would fully pardon the January 6th rioters, as well as ask for an apology from the government if he's reelected. Speaking of which, this retired New York police officer was sentenced to 10 years in prison yesterday for his role in the attack on the Capitol. That's the longest punishment handed down so far. And that's the individual who literally had like a pipe in his hand and was beating a police officer, trying to rip off that police officer's mask so he would suffocate because of the gas everywhere. So again, insurrectionists, criminals need to go to jail to the full extent of the law. What do you feel about both parts of our discussion so far?
I was fascinated, and I appreciate you guys having that conversation on TV, because I don't think it ever happens. You know, and Tori, to your point, I think with Biden's speech and what Jeff was saying and why the two kind of go together is because that Biden did what you're not supposed to do, which is bring up the guy that's irrelevant. At this point, Biden has done a lot of the things he said he was going to do. He got a black woman on the Supreme Court. That's a campaign promise fulfilled. He said he was going to reduce student debt. People thought it was going to be eliminated, but $10,000. When we did that story 2 weeks ago, my homeboy Joey texted me during the segment and said his son, who just graduated from the University of Colorado, he's starting his life with no debts.
Nice.
Those are the stories that Biden should be telling people, because I know about Trump. We've all had 4 years to decide, and if you're pro-Trump, kind of Trump, don't watch politics, you already have an opinion about this man. You already have an opinion about Biden. And I feel like he had a lot of highlights, and he focused on the people that we already know about. That's where I thought it was a miss. I thought he's had a lot of hits. Gas is $3.60 where I was yesterday.
Focus on the positive.
Focus on that.
Let me just say one sentence to that. You are
say as many sentences as you want.
No, you are not fully politically fluent if you think you can ignore Trump. He is not irrelevant. He is the biggest threat to American democracy, and especially for the midterm elections. He is the number one for a lot of people, and he will get people to the polls more than some other wedge issues. He is not irrelevant.
But going after him fuels him. Going after him fuels him.
Someone has to say stop. Let's look. I appreciate this conversation because we all agree to what we're talking about, but there's levels to it.
Absolutely.
And that's how you have a conversation in this country. It looks like 53% of you believe that he tried to unify the country. 47% of you believe that it was divisive. Coming up on DBL, an assassination attempt on Argentina's vice president. We'll show you what happened after the gun jams. And Dr. Coley is here in the studio. We missed her. She's talking about the new COVID booster shots, and are they safe?
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stop by. We're taking over. We're made of this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
I just don't remember mine.
Dang, it's on the bridge.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. The coffee here, it's not good. What do we do here? How do we get it better? What do we do? We got Cheri. We need help.
Yeah!
Sierra, it's terrible. It's terrible. Happy birthday, Sierra. Turned 26 yesterday. Happy birthday.
Sam's going to ask you. But
Tori, what were you doing at 26?
No.
Sierra, did you have a good birthday?
I did have a good birthday.
Yay, Sierra!
I thought our conversation was really good because at the end of the day, you know, people think that you are either on this side or on that side, when I would hope we can all have duality of thought and say, listen, I think President Biden, to Al's point, did a number of really great things that honored his campaign promises. But then you can also, without being judged, saying that you're slamming Biden, say, I wish he would have focused on that to unify the country rather than going after a demographic who, by the way, aren't going to change their mind.
Right.
It's like when you shame someone, and I do not agree with Trump supporters, but I understand that if you put someone in a corner and shame them, they're just going to hate on you.
You can make
more.
the argument that Hillary Clinton with the basket of deplorables, that comment has never gone away.
Yeah.
Like, I still see bumper stickers that say proud deplorable.
Yeah.
And that's to
You're
your
not gonna
point, Sam.
convince anyone.
When you put people in a corner and call them a name, it's just
back.
going to make them gel
Angry.
together, and they're not going to go anywhere. So
Yeah, or if you
I
say they're
get
being
it.
conned, even though I agree, Trump's a con man, just look at his history. But if you're going to tell someone that they're being conned, they're going to feel like a fool, and they're not going to listen to anything else that you're going to say. So you have to be a little bit more strategic and empathetic, in my opinion. Welcome back. We got Lady in Red in the corner. Love it. Dr. Coley. She's here to answer all our questions about these new COVID booster shots that just got approved by both the FDA and the CDC.
Let's jump right in, shall we?
That was the weirdest turn.
I know. Sam just stopped.
It was like you were like one of like those CD players from the 90s. You just stopped talking. And I was like, are we still on the air?
I'm told that Jeff has a question he wants to get to, so I'm going to honor that, Jeff.
Okay.
Honor that? All right. Wow, we're very professional here on Friday. So I better look right at the camera. So Dr. Coley, these new booster shots are not without controversy. They're only tested in mice and Tori, and not humans. So talk to us about these boosters. Are they safe and effective?
You know, I'm glad you're asking me this, Jeff, because you've had a lot of questions about the vaccines all along. So I think coming from you, this is a really appropriate question.
But I'm double vaxxed.
Double vaxxed.
And boosted.
And boosted.
And boosted.
Okay, and now you're going to go and get this booster after I'm done talking to you today, right?
Well, let's see what you have to say.
Okay. So the FDA actually purposely told them not to test them in humans because they wanted to greenlight it, because we already have more than enough data on the fact that they're safe. This is something we've been doing for decades. We do this every year with the flu, switch out the messenger RNA or switch out the DNA in the vaccine and just put in a new one. So for every strain, we don't need to repeat the trial. So safety, I'm not worried about. Efficacy is a little bit more of a question mark. So how well do they actually work? Now, you know, this is a little bit of a different booster than the one we've had before, but mice data tells us that it's 20-fold more effective than the one we had before against protecting against symptomatic infection from Omicron.
Yeah,
Great.
so that was going to be my question. How are these different? So they're 20 times better? That's how they're different? That's a good thing to put on the outside of the box.
This is a software upgrade. It is a huge upgrade for our booster. So the old booster had only one virus strain in it.
That was the Windows 98 booster.
Yeah, the Excel version. Or Sam's old cell phone.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
She carries
Sam's
around.
old stuff.
So that was the Toyota of boosters.
Yeah.
This is the Tesla of boosters. Yeah.
Don't knock Toyota. They go forever.
I have a Prius. I love
I
it.
rock
So
Toyota.
she drives a Tesla.
Oh, okay. Good plug.
So Toyotas are great. They're reliable. They work. But going faster with a Tesla, if you upgrade, and that's what we've done here. So instead of having just that one strain, which is the original one, we have that, plus we have, you know, the Omicron BA4 and 5, and that really allows for a higher level of antibody response, as well as hopefully a longer duration and more general coverage.
Good analogy.
All right, how important is it to get these shots, considering the fact that you can still catch COVID after getting boosted? Tell me about that.
So with the old booster, that was the case. With this one, we're hoping it's 20 times better. It's your Tesla booster that's going to hopefully make it not only a lot less likely to catch it, but a lot less likely to get infected.
I like upgrades. Me too. Well, what should we do? Me too.
Right.
What should we do about our kids? And now I know a lot of our viewers either have grandkids or kids, and they're wondering, just like we are, like for my kids, they're both eligible right now to get their COVID vaccine. And I've been talking to you about which one should they get. Should they wait until a new upgraded version comes, or get in there now and then go get boosted later? What do we do?
You have to get the basic one. You have to get those 2 doses before you're eligible for this upgrade. So you have to put in your Toyota time before you're eligible for a Tesla. But the boosters, the upgraded boosters for kids are coming. So that'll be the next iteration. But you guys all need to go get your boosters, because anyone, regardless of their risk, regardless of whether they've had the infection, if they're at least 3 months out from their infection and at least 2 months out from their last shot, need to go and get a booster before the fall wave hits.
What about when we get our flu shot? Can we get both at the same time?
That's what I'm going to do.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. In fact, I think we should have a little party. What do you guys think?
Shot and a shot.
I don't go to parties with needles, but I did want to ask you.
All the parties that I go to.
That's true. That's true. So, so if somebody's watching or myself, we log on to our healthcare provider and we say, I want to go get a booster. Is the Tesla booster available? Is that the one we're going to get today?
I want to wait for the Tesla
When is it
booster.
coming out?
Labor Day. So the CDC
really?
and
It's like a
FDA
sale.
greenlighted it. They already, that's right. It's like
Is everybody eligible?
Everybody's eligible for at least 2 months out from your last shot, or at least 3 months out from your infection.
Well, what if you got infected and you don't know? Is it bad then to go get a booster?
No, not at all. It may not do much because you already have the protection from the infection. It won't hurt.
What about this saying you're not allowed to get boosters after Labor Day? Is that still relevant? No, I'm just kidding. Let me sneak in this last question. A new survey is out, and it showed that 2 in 3 adults don't know their blood type. I don't even know mine, and I've been looking for it. How important it is to know something like this, and does it have anything to do with? I've never gotten the virus, COVID. I forgot about what it was. That's a good thing.
And how do we find out our blood type?
Yeah.
So blood test, easy to know. Every single person should know it. In fact, put it in the back of your driver's license or something. If you're ever in a car accident, people need to know your blood type.
Oh, no.
If you have a loved one who's in a car accident, you need to be a donor, you need to know your blood type. So I would say, and I'm disappointed, honestly, because I asked the producers a while ago, nobody knows it. Go and find out.
We need to find out. Now, you just sent me to go get my blood work done. Can I call them and they'll tell me?
It has to be a special test. So you have to do a blood type. It's called.
Can I sneak in something very, very important? A friend of mine, his aunt needs O negative. I know it's difficult to find. So if anybody watching has O negative, please reach out to DBL. That just hit me. Yeah, sorry about O negative. I guess it's really, they can donate to everybody.
Universal donor.
But they can only take O negative, right? So it's hard to find. So
Good to know.
if anybody watching is O negative, please, good lady.
Wow. Please reach out to DBL. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley. We appreciate you as always. We'll be right back.
President Biden just announced a plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for some people. When critics attacked the plan, the White House responded on Twitter by pointing out some of those critics had gotten even larger loans forgiven by the government. Those loans weren't student loans, they were Paycheck Protection Program loans. The PPP was created during the early stages of the pandemic to provide business owners with cash so they wouldn't have to lay off workers. According to the Treasury Department, as long as the loans were used to cover payroll, they could be, and often have been, forgiven. Recently, many people have claimed that the average forgiven PPP loan was much larger than the 10 to 20 grand in forgiveness that many students are now receiving. This tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders says the average amount of debt forgiveness to businesses was more than $95,000. So let's verify. Is the average amount forgiven for PPP loans greater than $20,000? Our sources, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Education, and the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. That committee is a government agency tasked with tracking how pandemic relief funds get used. Out of a total 11.5 million PPP loans, more than 10 million were fully or partially forgiven. And the agency calculated that the average amount forgiven was $72,500. So where did Sanders get the 95,000 figure? Well, that was the average as of last year, when only about 4 million loans had been forgiven. Since then, millions of smaller loans have been processed, bringing the average down, according to the Small Business Administration. But when it comes to student loans, the max most people can get forgiven under Biden's plan is 20 grand. So even with the lower 72 grand figure for PPP loans, we can verify, yes, the average amount forgiven for PPP loans is greater than $20,000. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. Some shocking video out of Argentina today showing their vice president, Cristina Fernandez, surviving an assassination attempt last night. A warning to our viewers, this content may be disturbing. Now watch, a man in the crowd pulls a gun, points it right in her face. The gun jams as he pulls the trigger. Now the vice president wasn't hurt, but authorities said there were 5 bullets in the gun chamber. Now listen to the gun jam in this second video from a different angle. Listen. So they are trying to figure out the shooter's motive, but we should note that the vice president is currently in court facing corruption allegations, which she does deny, I should say. Tori, how crazy is this? I don't even know the odds of a gun jamming.
With 5 bullets in it, directly at her face on camera like that, that was divine intervention, if you ever believe in something like that. I will also say that man has been arrested, and they think 5, but that one has been arrested.
They think there's 5 additional?
They think there is a plot with 5 people. They have one in custody, but it was some kind of, they think, Brazilian nationalist group. And we're just trying to figure it all out. I mean, it was in her inches.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you for that additional context, Tori. Okay, so here's a question for you. How do you feel about a kids soccer team for boys under 10 being sponsored by Hooters? The Hooters in the UK came out to wish good luck this season to the under 10 league they're sponsoring. Hooters, of course, is known for their female servers in low-cut tops and bright orange shorts, but appear modest in the photos they shared. Now, it's unclear what the terms of the sponsorship are, but the boys will have Hooters logos on their jerseys. So question again, should Hooters be associated with kids 10 and under? Is this funny, lighthearted, or are we sexualizing young boys? What would you say to this with 2 young boys?
I'm all for it. Hooters is a chain restaurant now. Everybody knows what Hooters is. It's not a sexualized, maybe it is in some people's eyes, but you could bring your family there, right? If you were sponsored by the New York Jets and the cheerleaders came to take a picture, would you say, get out of here?
And they wouldn't be dressed like that.
Right, and they actually wore some, I appreciate that, Tori, thank you.
Poetry slam.
Yeah, they actually wore like sweatpants and stuff. They didn't go in traditional outfits. I'm all for this, and they're paying for it, by the way.
I also think just before you cast stones, look at every single person that's been a sponsorship. I'm sure there's been some corruption on those ends too. Hooters, to me, again, family restaurant. I think I've been there. I like their wings. I don't have an issue with it.
Listen, I'll play devil's advocate here. I used to go to the Hooters all the time. I had friends that worked there in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard.
That's where I would go too.
I'm not talking about the waitresses. I'm talking about some of the patrons. Some of the patrons and my friends would complain, would call out to them, whistle at them, grope them. Now, when I used to play soccer, we would go to the sponsorships establishment afterwards. We'd go to Village Host Pizza afterwards and enjoy pizza. I don't know if I would bring Sophie to Hooters, considering the misogyny that I personally have seen and my friends that have been waitresses there have experienced. So I see both sides.
Right. I mean, definitely, and I'm glad you brought that up, but there's also, we can't just talk about Hooters. If we're talking about young women being hypersexualized around drunk male patrons, I think, unfortunately, that probably happens at the ESPN zone in Dave & Buster's, in any place where an alcoholic beverage is served. And I don't want to punish a franchise that's trying to do good here. You know, look, I'm happy we're doing this story, Sam, and I appreciate what you're saying. I'm happy we're doing this rather than the CEO doing something terrible. They're trying to do something good. They showed up looking appropriate, and they're sponsoring this. What do we do?
Good point, Al.
Like, let's get them, get those kids some new uniforms.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Darling. This time it's monkeypox, the rare but rarely deadly disease with symptoms similar to smallpox. The CDC's statistics show it's very uncommon in children, but with schools back in session, parents and teachers are asking, is it possible for monkeypox to spread through school surfaces like desks and sleeping mats? Our sources are the CDC, a recent monkeypox surface study conducted by the Utah Health Department, and Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
The most common way that monkeypox is transmitted is directly from person to person, and this involves skin-to-skin contact. A small number of cases could be transmitted by respiratory droplets. There are also sometimes people can get it from what we call in medicine fomites, which is the environment around us.
The CDC emphasizes the risk to children is low, though yes, again, it can spread through contaminated objects like toys, eating utensils, fabrics, and surfaces used by someone who has monkeypox. The Utah Health Department study took 30 specimens from a house with 2 people with monkeypox. Several items had traces of the virus, but none had a positive viral culture result, meaning the virus wasn't viable or infectious on those surfaces.
The surfaces that are most problematic are actually soft fabrics, so like bedding, towels, things that we would use somewhat intimately with skin-to-skin contact. Other surfaces, such as desks, doorknobs, telephones, are much less likely to become contaminated because the skin to direct contact would be quite unusual.
The CDC says the best disinfectants for monkeypox are the same ones you're using for COVID or any other emerging viral pathogen. EPA's pesticide product and label system search page allows you to see name brands and generics that perform best. At this point, the CDC is not recommending students stay out of school for monkeypox exposures, unless, of course, they have symptoms. At that point, the child's doctor and local health department should advise what to do and whether the vaccine might be an option. With your Verify, I'm Megan Maleris.
Verify viewers are always on the lookout for the next potential scam, and we love when you ask us about suspicious claims and requests, like Karen did. She received this letter that claims to be from the federal government that asks her to answer questions about her passport. So Karen, let's verify. Is this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State legit? Our sources are the State Department, the Office of Management and Budget, and the U.S. Government Accountability Office. The State Department is responsible for issuing passports to Americans. Every month, the agency mails a letter like this and the one received by Karen to 35,000 addresses nationwide, inviting them to take part in a survey about passport demand. The survey asks questions about whether anyone in the home has a passport or will need one in the next few years. The State Department says it then uses this data to know when it needs to hire more people, build more infrastructure, and add resources to issue passports. So, yes, this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State is legit. The department says it may also call people who don't respond to the letter.
All right, so we got some comments in regard to Hooters. NP says someone probably approached Hooters to be the sponsor.
Yes.
And then Julia says, well, maybe Hooters could have a family section.
Yeah, they do.
The restaurant.
There's like little league teams in there, and yeah.
They don't have a family section.
But it's a family-style restaurant, isn't it?
No, you guys, it's not a family-style restaurant.
I think
it's not
it
the
is.
same as
Sure
like
it is.
Yeah,
a
it
pizza.
is.
What? If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, also our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Comedian and actress Cheri Oteri is going to be here live. She's telling us all about what it was like during her years on SNL. Plus, Kanye and Kim are feuding about where their kids should go to school. We're going to talk all about it.
Whether you love it or hate it, pumpkin spice season is here, and people are using the flavoring in all sorts of foods and drinks. But despite its popularity, some people are still confused about what actually goes into the pumpkin spice seasoning in a pumpkin spice latte. This person on Twitter claims there isn't any pumpkin in pumpkin spice. But is that true? Let's verify. We spoke to a spice expert, a licensed dietitian and nutritionist, and spice manufacturer McCormick & Company to get to the bottom of this.
There is no pumpkin in the spice, but it's a blend of different spices that historically were used with pumpkin in pumpkin pies or pumpkin puddings.
The blend usually contains 4 to 5 other spices you probably have in your cabinet: cinnamon, ginger, cloves, nutmeg, and allspice. Spice giant McCormick & Company first introduced a commercial pumpkin pie spice to the US in 1934. The goal was to flavor pumpkin pie all in one container, rather than bakers needing to get each individual spice. So we can verify, no, pumpkin spice does not contain any pumpkin. But despite the lack of pumpkin-y goodness in pumpkin spice, both Frisch and Andrew say it's still possible the latte drink that you order may in fact contain pumpkin these days. And as it turns out, we can verify that the PSL at Starbucks has both pumpkin spice seasoning, which does not contain pumpkin, and real pumpkin. It says so right here on the drink's ingredient list. With your Verify and my very own pumpkin spice latte, I'm Ariane Till.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Y'all just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. We have so much to talk about. Let's start with, I'm sure a lot of you saw this. I was like refreshing my Instagram in real time yesterday when this was happening. So some public family feuds are making the headlines. The one I'm referring to involves Kanye West and his take on Kim and where she's sending their kids to school. So Kanye posted and then deleted many text messages saying that Kim shouldn't have the only say on what school the kids should go to. Kanye wants the kids to go to his newly established Donda Academy, but they apparently attend a private school near their home in Calabasas. He also accused Kim of feeling entitled to decide about their kids' education because she's, quote, half white. Kanye also took on Kris Jenner, who allegedly said she wants Kanye to stop mentioning her name because at 67, it stresses her out. Kanye then responded by saying he won't allow his children to do Playboy or sex tapes. So anybody see this in real time like I did coincidentally yesterday?
No.
Oh
How'd you see this?
Gosh, I don't know, but I fell down that rabbit hole.
What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were anger because Kanye could totally have a point. But to do this so publicly, to me, felt like a manipulation control, and it felt very toxic. And it's almost like when you're in a fight with someone and their last straw is to do something like to announce it to the room, just to like humiliate you. Mm-hmm. It's like
hence the Playboy tapes.
Exactly. Yeah. Like handle it privately, please. You may have a point. You may have a say where, of course, where your children go to school. You may be in the right. I don't know. But to involve the public like that is absolutely atrocious and abusive. That is abuse. That's abuse. I just want to end it right there.
I'm with you on that, and I usually take Kanye's side, right? I'm a Kanye fan. I believe he's genius, and that that line is blurred there. And now I kind of want to get your take on it because we usually have the same opinion. But in this case, right, I question his Donda Academy. Number one, I think he's genius, but I don't know if the curriculum fits what America is teaching.
It's
right. I think it might be amazing, right, because of his ideology. But I do question some of that. Calling out his ex-wife, who he has kids with, you're biased because of your education, because you're white. That's not necessary, right? And then when he's saying at the end, well, I don't want my kids to be a stripper or sex tapes. You had kids with this woman.
Yeah,
you loved her at one point in your life. So now you're holding all these things that you loved at one point against her and for ransom. And really, who are we talking about here? The children. So right. I don't like this, Al.
All I ever hear is you guys talking about your children. Sam was talking about how your kids were up like roosters this morning.
Gosh.
And so
tired.
And we do it, and we don't ask for accolades because we love it, and we love them so much that nothing within our power is going to hurt them. And so to see this back and forth, Kanye is, I think this is going to be a pattern of behavior, as it has been for some years. But I hope somebody steps away from the Kardashians because their life is not anybody's lives. But what will apply to most people's lives is if they do have a split, there's going to be a lot of bad blood. And what you need to do with that is not text things about sex tapes or you're overweight or you're half white, whatever you want to, and go get a judgment.
Yeah.
That's why people pay for lawyers. If there's an issue with schools, there should be printed paper on legal heading that says, here's where they go to school. Here's the weekends you get, Jeff. Here's the holidays you get, Tori. And anything else is just dust in the wind, because if you're going back and forth, you're giving that person the illusion that they can change something. And unless they go down to that courthouse, they cannot.
Yeah, and very quickly,
final thought.
All of this is discovery for Kim. In the court case, they can bring all of this up and say, look how absolutely erratic he is, look how racially charged he is. She could get custody because of the temper tantrum he's having on the internet.
In front of the whole world.
In front of the whole world.
Yep. Another family feud that is really ticking me off. Britney Spears is once again calling her kids out online. It's over an interview her 15-year-old son Jaden gave to a British TV network. Jaden revealed he hasn't seen his mom in months and that their relationship is strained. Watch.
I 100% think it can be fixed, of course, but I think it's just going to take a lot of time and effort. I really want to see her again.
Jaden also said he wants Britney to get better mentally. Britney responded on Instagram and lashed out at Kevin Federline for allowing their son to speak to the media about personal matters. To Jaden, she added, quote, "On the issue of my mental health, my dear child, understand you must learn to pick up a book and read one before you resort to even thinking about my intellect. Sorry, Britney Spears, I've defended you until this very moment. How dare you talk about your son to the entire world, who's 15 years old, who is not an adult like you are, and demean him in front of the entire world. He is an innocent child, and you have brought the entire situation onto your Instagram before Jaden ever did. Kevin Federline, I can treat separately. Maybe he's just as guilty. But in this moment, I don't care what Jaden says. That is your child, and you just publicly humiliated him. Not okay with it."
I have a somewhat unpopular opinion.
I think you speak for a lot of people.
And I also understand that all three of you are parents. So please know I am very aware of that. So there's a difference
dog
there.
mom.
I'm a dog mom. That's different than children. I understand that. So, But I will say this. Legally, Britney Spears is more than just a mom. She is a public figure with a whole brand and an entire mogul of things happening. And forever, she's had an entire team against her, work against her, right? With lawyers, with Jamie, with Kevin. Someone set up this 15-year-old to get an interview with the British. He didn't just choose to do it. Someone on their side set that up. That's also disgusting, in my opinion. If she doesn't speak back, she's back in the conservatorship. She has no voice. She has no way of saying anything. The only way Britney can say anything is to publicly say it, because it's the only people that support her are the public. Now, do I think they're both in the wrong? Absolutely.
Who, both?
Wait, you think he's in the wrong?
A 15-year-old's in the wrong?
I think the team, Jamie, Kevin, someone set that 15-year-old up to have a discussion about his mother's mental capacity. He doesn't know. He didn't set that interview up.
I don't feel comfortable calling him somewhat guilty. I cannot.
I'm not saying the 15, I'm saying the team behind him. I don't think he did anything. I think he was set up to be on this thing, to be a pawn in what has become this terrible chess game.
Maybe that's what Britney should have said. Maybe that's what Britney should have said instead of demeaning her son and telling him to pick up a book.
I hear that.
I can't imagine. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Sam on this one. Like, Britney's talking about not putting her life in the media, and then she attacks her son in the media. My dear child, pick up a book. I would never say that about my child, ever. No matter what we are going through, I wouldn't put my kid through that. Is there a chance, we talked about blind loyalty in the beginning of the show, is there a chance Britney Spears is unwell and that what is being said about her perhaps might be true? We have this blind loyalty towards Britney Spears, and everything against her, it was everyone else's fault but hers. Is she maybe at fault?
It's not blind if a judge declared she wasn't an abusive
A judge also declared some really wacky things that I've never heard of. Getting an IUD put in because of your mental state. A lot of other things that I've never even heard of. And I know some people who know some people that are mentally
if you're
unwell.
Really mentally not well, you shouldn't be able to go.
But I'm saying I haven't heard of a couple of these things had we not talked about Britney Spears. Obviously, something has to be wrong with her, is the point I'm trying to make here. I'm not trying to demean her. And something has to be wrong, but we just blindly go in and be like, hey, everyone treated Britney Spears, and it's her dad and her sister and her brother and Kevin Federline and her kids. It's like, maybe it's her.
Or they could both, I agree, it could both be true. I just think that she's never had the microphone, ever.
You're right.
And now
You're
she
right.
does.
Yeah,
And I'm glad she does. I just want her to leave her children out.
I agree with that. I would agree.
Oh, Sam hates you.
I know.
Coming up on DBL, what a good talk. Cheri Oteri, you guys, gonna be here live. We cannot wait to talk with her about her brand new movie coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stop by.
Welcome back. I cannot wait for her new movie. Our next guest made us laugh on Saturdays Live from New York, and now she is joined by an amazing, hilarious cast for Comedy Central's new movie, Cheri Oteri. Welcome to DBL.
Yes.
Oh, what's up?
Hi, Cheri. This is great.
You look like you're pondering something.
Oh, this is very exciting.
No, I'm just hoping nothing falls. You should have seen me setting up. It's like this, everything is falling.
She's like, nobody
I'm trying
move.
to keep still.
Nobody
just
move.
don't sneeze or cough.
Yeah, everyone stay
I know,
still.
right?
Tell me about, Cheri, was there an SNL sketch that was somewhat challenging, but worth it in the end? Because you did what I love was the physical part, and I'm such a physical comedian. I really look up to you. What was the hardest one for you, the most worth it?
Well, the hardest one was not physical. It was, I would have to say, probably doing Barbara Walters, because I didn't go in doing any impressions, but I was kind of strongly made to do her, and oh God, and I just knew that I had to have like a different take on it, and you know, Gilda was so iconic doing her, and once I did do her and the audience kind of like accepted it, I had more fun doing her than ever. And that picture, that was one of the highlights of my career, was getting to interview her as her.
That's amazing.
And yeah, I would say I got more bang out of the buck of doing Barbara Walters than, you know, doing her on New Year's Eve with Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper. It was just like, she's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, right. I used to just love watching those skits way back, you know, when, and like how even like the lighting would be all blurred. Right. You were so good. Okay, but we got to talk about your new movie. A lot of people are anticipating it. It's called Out of Office. Now, based on the trailer, this is my interpretation. It seems like you play the tough love mom. Is that true? Tell us more about your character.
Oh my gosh. It's, first of all, I'm doing it with Jason Alexander, who is a doll, and he made me laugh. Yes, it's good cop, bad cop. I'm definitely bad cop, and it's really funny to be bad cop and then see Jason Alexander as the softie dad. But yeah, we are trying to get her out of the house because we're moving, actually, and all I want to do is go to Paris, and I just want this girl to get a job and be able to take care of herself so I can go to Paris without guilt. But I think she's going to go to Paris with or without guilt, you know. But yeah, it was, and being a part of like this crazy ensemble of talented people was, I wish I would have gotten to work with them more. But the cast is just so incredible and stellar. And yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because it's almost like, you know, the NBA All-Star Game. There's it's such a crazy cast. There's so many incredible comics. Like, what is like? Who made you laugh? Because there's like guys that make the people in the industry laugh. So who's the comic in the back of the room in that setting?
Oh my God, they all made me laugh, and I'll say, like, you know, Leslie and Ken together. Whoever thought of that is just brilliant. I mean, those two together, it's just so funny on so many levels, and they were so funny. Everybody was, you know, I mean, the whole cast. I watched the movie the other day, and I was just like, this is so fun. And it really does reflect what the past 2 years have been like, with people working from home and remotely. And I think the movie was going to be called Remote, but they changed it to Out of Office. But yeah, it really is a great reflection of these past 2 years and, you know, doing business at home remotely.
So speaking about that, you just mentioned it's about working from home. We all know about the embarrassing things that could happen during a video call. We had them happen to us over the past 2 years. What did you have to deal with during a video call?
Well, I so related to being a dog mommy.
Yeah.
Tori, that's you.
For me, it's the dogs. And the funny thing is, someone said to me once, you know, Cheri, you can press your mute button. And I never thought about that.
Right. Guilty.
I never thought about, so I would just be like, I'm talking and shut up! I'm in a meeting! Which of course is is way worse than the barking.
Now you're louder than the bark.
But I never even thought to press my mute button, and I was like, oh my God, of course.
That's hilarious. Oh
Sherry,
my God.
you and Tori got a lot in common.
Yeah.
You and Tori got a lot in common.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? Right now, I am fostering a 5-month-old German Shepherd.
Mazel. Mazel tov.
Yeah, I've got 2 of my own rescues, and over the pandemic, I fostered and found homes for 4 dogs.
Good for
and
you, Sherry.
It is the best. There's like nothing more fulfilling.
Sherry. We need more of you.
Absolutely.
We really do. You and Tori are kindred spirits.
You rescue them, they rescue you right back. Cheri Oteri is what you are.
Okay, all right. All right. We gotta go. It was great chatting with you, Sherry. To our viewers, you have to. We all need a good laugh. You gotta check out Out of Office. It premieres Monday, September 5th on Comedy Central. We'll be right back. Thank you, Sherry.
Lovely meeting you, Sherry.
You're welcome. Mwah, mwah.
Suffer from.
President Biden just announced a plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for some people. When critics attacked the plan, the White House responded on Twitter by pointing out some of those critics had gotten even larger loans forgiven by the government. Those loans weren't student loans, they were Paycheck Protection Program loans. The PPP was created during the early stages of the pandemic to provide business owners with cash so they wouldn't have to lay off workers. According to the Treasury Department, as long as the loans were used to cover payroll, they could be, and often have been, forgiven. Recently, many people have claimed that the average forgiven PPP loan was much larger than the 10 to 20 grand in forgiveness that many students are now receiving. This tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders says the average amount of debt forgiveness to businesses was more than $95,000. So let's verify. Is the average amount forgiven for PPP loans greater than $20,000? Our sources, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Education, and the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. That committee is a government agency tasked with tracking how pandemic relief funds get used. Out of a total 11.5 million PPP loans, more than 10 million were fully or partially forgiven. And the agency calculated that the average amount forgiven was $72,500. So where did Sanders get the $95,000 figure? Well, that was the average as of last year, when only about 4 million loans had been forgiven. Since then, millions of smaller loans have been processed, bringing the average down, according to the Small Business Administration. But when it comes to student loans, the max most people can get forgiven under Biden's plan is 20 grand. So even with the lower 72 grand figure for PPP loans, we can verify, yes, the average amount forgiven for PPP loans is greater than $20,000. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. Labor Day is coming up, and for some, this means wearing white after the holidays off limits. Turns out this is actually an old rule based on class. But what about some other fashion rules, like not wearing horizontal stripes, or never to wear brown with black? And here's one of my favorite rules to break. You know me, I like to mix patterns. Right? This is actually a current fashion trend. So are all of these rules a thing of the past? Look, there we go. Yep. Are these rules, Tori, in your opinion, a thing of the past, or do you follow these rules?
I genuinely don't wear white after Labor Day.
You don't?
No.
I've never followed this.
I thought it was a thing that, I don't know where it came from when our producer Anthony said it was a class thing. If you could afford white, you could go on vacation, and it separated you from the working class, the actual color of your outfit.
If you could afford to go on vacation,
right.
You would wear white because, you know, it's a lot hotter in those climates.
The sun is coming on. The sun.
You said if you could afford white.
You could afford white to go on vacation.
White was very expensive back then.
It's the one material.
Wait a second. You want to buy this shirt? What do you do for a living?
But yeah, I don't wear white after Labor Day. Do you guys?
Yes.
I do.
I don't.
What?
You're the one person who can.
I never do.
I don't know many situations where, quite frankly, I can pull off white pants.
Yes, you could.
No, I could not.
You don't think
if somebody shows up to a party with white pants, you're already
No. How about this? Mexico vacation.
all right, I need to put 5 more years on it, and then I could see some white linen,
pleated
like
linen.
the kind of white, like
5 more years on it?
because you got to be 50. You got to be like about to get in that good living.
Oh, you're
you know,
so right,
your kids are grown and like your house is paid for. That's a different kind of feeling when you're like 52.
No, I'm already.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
No, he's right. You know Martine Watkins, who's been on the
Of
show.
course.
She's a dear friend, but her dad, iconically, Michael Watkins, always, and he's our superintendent, always with his white linen pants.
It's a statement.
Now, it's a statement. I mean, I appreciate it. When Michael Watkins walks in the room, I appreciate those white linen pants. I'm curious.
What's happening with the description?
It's a lot.
Are you a magician? You're like.
I am. You didn't know that? Now you just ruined your pocket.
No, it just goes right back in.
Al, I caught him in the wardrobe room carefully steaming your pocket square.
I like to steam things. It's super relaxing for me.
Vegetables?
I like to saute vegetables, actually. Quick question for Jeff.
We're out of time. Okay,
White tux or black tux?
Oh.
All white or all black?
All black.
All black.
All black.
White tux? Who wears a
Ben
white
Affleck
James
wore
Bond?
one. Yeah,
He rocks the white.
Unless I'm going to Jay-Z's party, I'm going to be all black.
He did do the white party.
Yeah.
That's funny. We'll be right back.
You can't say that's funny.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
This time it's monkeypox, the rare but rarely deadly disease with symptoms similar to smallpox. The CDC's statistics show it's very uncommon in children, but with schools back in session, parents and teachers are asking, is it possible for monkeypox to spread through school surfaces like desks and sleeping mats? Our sources are the CDC, a recent monkeypox surface study conducted by the Utah Health Department, and Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
The most common way that monkeypox is transmitted is directly from person to person, and this involves skin-to-skin contact. A small number of cases could be transmitted by respiratory droplets. There are also sometimes people can get it from what we call in medicine fomites, which is the environment around us.
The CDC emphasizes the risk to children is low, though yes, again, it can spread through contaminated objects like toys, eating utensils, fabrics, and surfaces used by someone who has monkeypox. The Utah Health Department study took 30 specimens from a house with 2 people with monkeypox. Several items had traces of the virus, but none had a positive viral culture result, meaning the virus wasn't viable or infectious on those surfaces.
The surfaces that are most problematic are actually soft fabrics, so like bedding, towels, things that we would use somewhat intimately with skin-to-skin contact. Other surfaces, such as desks, doorknobs, telephones, are much less likely to become contaminated because the skin to direct contact would be quite unusual.
The CDC says the best disinfectants for monkeypox are the same ones you're using for COVID or any other emerging viral pathogen. EPA's pesticide product and label system search page allows you to see name brands and generics that perform best. At this point, the CDC is not recommending students stay out of school for monkeypox exposures, unless, of course, they have symptoms. At that point, the child's doctor and local health department should advise what to do and whether the vaccine might be an option. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Verify viewers are always on the lookout for the next potential scam, and we love when you ask us about suspicious claims and requests, like Karen did. She received this letter that claims to be from the federal government that asks her to answer questions about her passport. So Karen, let's verify. Is this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State legit? Our sources are the State Department, the Office of Management and Budget, and the U.S. Government Accountability Office. The State Department is responsible for issuing passports to Americans. Every month, the agency mails a letter like this and the one received by Karen to 35,000 addresses nationwide, inviting them to take part in a survey about passport demand. The survey asks questions about whether anyone in the home has a passport or will need one in the next few years. The State Department says it then uses this data to know when it needs to hire more people, build more infrastructure, and add resources to issue passports. So, yes, this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State is legit. The department says it may also call people who don't respond to the letter.
Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time has come today. Just stopping by. We're taking over.
DBL is all new every day.
Are you making fun of my dancing?
You're doing some mom car dancing. That's
what
when you're
about
in the.
her over there?
What are you talking about?
No.
Oh yeah, I have one pose.
Yeah.
And all my pictures, and Jeff spotted it.
We're going on season 6.
It's the same
Jeff,
pose.
you look the same with those.
Sam, do the pose really quick.
No.
Oh, it's like this every season. I don't know what to do with my
trying
long,
to show people to
dangly
donate
arms.
blood.
So I just because they're so
Donate
long.
blood.
I have long arms.
You have gorgeous limbs.
Thank you. I need to show you a response.
She said gorgeous limbs.
Yes, she does. She's got gorgeous, long, beautiful.
So you're trying to make up for the Britney fight.
I am.
Yeah.
I feel bad about the Britney fight because I'm the one that's going to get attacked by Britney fans.
You might be right in this whole thing.
I need to give you a response. We have a fan, my mom, but my mom's a dork. My mom sent
Both can be true.
one of the most iconic Winnie the Pooh quotes, because you told me Winnie the Pooh does nothing, and I said Winnie the Pooh stands for friendship. Here is
From yesterday's show.
For yesterday's show. Here's a famous Winnie the Pooh quote. Don't walk behind me. I may not lead. Don't walk in front of me. I may not follow. Just walk beside me and be my friend.
Are we sure it's a direct quote from him?
Yeah, it is.
I think that's from the Bible.
I think you should.
That's a quote.
No, and also, what am I supposed to do with that at 5 years
I don't
old?
know.
And that's exactly my point. I'm not saying Winnie was bad. I'm just saying super boring.
I think we should all just walk off because the show's over.
No, I'm standing
me on
by
that.
my
You're
my
gonna
winning
say that
fans.
to Heidi Shocker? Say it right now to Heidi Shocker.
Say it.
I love you, Heidi.
You took it back.
I'm not coming to nobody's mama.
That's
Thank
right.
you for watching.
That's right. That's right. We love you guys. Have a great weekend.
And wear white on Tuesday if you could afford it.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time has come today. Just stopping by to say, we're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over. We're made to win.
DBL is all new every day.
Say what we made for. We're made for this.
We're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
President Biden calls out MAGA Republicans as a threat to democracy, while former President Trump says he'll pardon January 6th rioters if he's elected again. An assassination attempt caught on camera. The shocking moment the gun jams as he points it at Argentina's vice president. Kanye is at it again on Instagram, posting his feud with Kim over the school choice for their kids. Will he ever stop making their problems public? And actress and comedian Cheri Oteri will be here live.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. We already have opinions over here. Tori, we're going to get to yours. Are you cracking your knuckles?
Yes, this is her. This is her game 7. That's right.
Wow.
You did.
I do it as a habit. I apologize.
Looks like you're getting ready for a good little showdown.
Yeah.
I was cracking my knuckles. I'm like, ooh, I ate some steak in Texas. Now Tori's like, politics.
Well, we are going to get into this. And listen, A lot of our viewers have opinions as well. So how many of you watched this? President Biden gave a primetime address last night framing the midterm elections as, quote unquote, battle for the soul of the nation. I want you to take a look.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. History tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy.
So what do you think of the president going after some MAGA Republicans like this? And DBL Nation, always want to hear from you. Did you find the president's speech to be unifying or divisive? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Tori, you were cracking your knuckles. Let us know what you're feeling.
It's a big moment. It's a big moment in Biden's presidency. It's a big moment in American history. It's an inflection point, and they turned the switch on, and they said, we're going after, and I want to be very clear here, he made it very clear, specific Republicans that are extremists. They don't believe the election was fair. They rushed into the Capitol. So if you're just a Republican conservative, we're not talking about you. I want to make that really clear.
I don't think that was clear, though. To be honest with you, I think that's the whole point of the discussion, is that wasn't clear, and it seemed like he alienated half of the country.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But if you actually watch the speech, he made the first 15 minutes extremely clear. I'm speaking to the extreme group of MAGA Republicans. He separated it. He did the best he could of trying to say, I'm not speaking to all of you. So if you listen to the speech, you would hear that. Kayleigh McEnany, Trump's former press secretary, said this. She did not like it. She said, standing in front of a hellish red background, Biden called half the country, like Jeff was saying, the MAGA Republicans, threats and clear and present dangers. Then he says, empathy is the fuel of democracy, the willingness to see each other not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. So a lot of people agree. They think that he polarized it more by calling it out. And I will say this from the bottom of my heart. To me, it is not polarizing to call out fascism. It is patriotic. And if you don't do it, you might want to take a look at what your party is leaning towards. If your party is all about one guy and disloyalty to any opposition, that's fascism. That's a problem. And we fought a whole war against that. So ask your parents and your grandparents how they felt about fascism in World War II. The idea that Trump really cares about those group of people is absurd. He's a grifter. He's a con man. He has gold toilets and doesn't think of the working guy. So all of this is so anti-American that it hurts when I realize people are getting conned. He stiffs people about money all the time. Well, he's stiffing the American public about being a leader of a democracy, because he isn't. He isn't.
Liz, I don't think this is about Trump, and I don't like that they just keep battling each other. Trump's not the president anymore. Right. You are. Right. So lead us, right? Unite us. Don't divide half the country, even though you said he explained that clearly. I don't think it was clear, right? That's fair. The blind loyalty he talks about is on his side. People just follow. I'm not allowed to question things up here. There's certain things I can't say, but when I go home in my little group and have my friends, I'm like, hey, could you believe this happened? I kind of feel like this, but I feel scared to say that because for the sake of my own job. The blind loyalty is on his side, not on this side.
Which party ran into the Capitol blindly with gallows to hang vice president? Not my party.
You're saying that now you're grouping everybody. You're saying the whole party.
Those who rushed the Capitol
are wrong. Right. Are wrong. Right. If you support the January 6th, you're wrong. If you ran in there, you're wrong. If you defend that or say that the election was stolen, you're wrong. That's a small percentage of the Republican Party.
It's pretty loud, isn't it? It's loud.
You're right. So is 90% of social media. We all know I say it 100 times, but it just goes through deaf ears. 10% of what's written on social media is 90% of the content.
I agree with you.
That's what's happening here. And the blind loyalty in this culture needs to stop. We need to be able to question things, have our freedom of speech. Since you talk about people fighting for our rights, we need to have freedom of speech and not be fired or put down or removed from situations for questioning whatever it is, not just Democratic or the Republic, just social.
I agree with you, Jeff. I actually agree with you.
You sound like a comic. Honestly.
No, I totally agree with you, because how are we going to have conversations if people are blindly following Biden and blindly following Trump?
Let me ask one thing, but it's not Biden. It's the Constitution that they're following.
Of course,
one is not and one is. And to me, I'm sick of being blamed for being polarizing when I didn't rush the Capitol. That is a group of people people that is taking
We agree
over
with
this
you
country.
there. So let's
and you can't bring us back together if you don't examine them.
Right.
You cannot do
I agree with you with the insurrectionists. Let's call them insurrectionists right now until we can unpack it in a more thoughtful segment. But because we're talking about Trump, I do want to bring up how he responded to Biden's speech. So on his social media platform, Trump called the speech insane. He also said someone should explain to Biden slowly but passionately that MAGA means make America great again. Trump also called into a radio show yesterday and promised, now here's where I have a huge issue, which does go into what Tori is saying. He promised he would fully pardon the January 6th rioters, as well as ask for an apology from the government if he's reelected. Speaking of which, this retired New York police officer was sentenced to 10 years in prison yesterday for his role in the attack on the Capitol. That's the longest punishment handed down so far. And that's the individual who literally had like a pipe in his hand and was beating a police officer, trying to rip off that police officer's mask so he would suffocate because of the gas everywhere. So again, insurrectionists, criminals need to go to jail to the full extent of the law. What do you feel about both parts of our discussion so far?
I was fascinated, and I appreciate you guys having that conversation on TV because I don't think it ever happens. You know, in Tori, to your point, I think with Biden's speech and what Jeff was saying and why the two kind of go together is because that Biden did what you're not supposed to do, which is bring up the guy that's irrelevant. At this point, Biden has done a lot of the things he said he was going to do. He got a black woman on the Supreme Court. That's a campaign promise fulfilled. He said he was going to reduce student debt. People thought it was going to be eliminated, but $10,000. When we did that story 2 weeks ago, my homeboy Joey texted me during the segment and said his son, who just graduated from the University of Colorado, he's starting his life with no debts.
Nice.
Those are the stories that Biden should be telling people because I know about Trump. We've all had 4 years to decide, and if you're pro-Trump, kind of Trump, don't watch politics, you already have an opinion about this man. You already have an opinion about Biden. And I feel like he had a lot of highlights and he focused on the people that we already know about. That's where I thought it was a miss. I thought he's had a lot of hits. Gas is $3.60 where I was yesterday.
Focus on the positive.
Focus on that.
Let me just say one sentence to that. You are
say as many sentences as you want.
No, you are not fully politically fluent if you think you can ignore Trump. He is not irrelevant. He is the biggest threat to American democracy, and especially for the midterm elections. He is the number one for a lot of people, and he will get people to the polls more than some other wedge issues. He is not irrelevant.
But going after him fuels him. Going after him fuels him.
Someone has to say stop.
Let's look. I appreciate this conversation because we all agree to what we're talking about, but there's levels to it.
Absolutely.
And that's how you have a conversation in this country. It looks like 53% of you believe that he tried to unify the country. 47% of you believe that it was divisive. Coming up on DBL, an assassination attempt on Argentina's vice president. We'll show you what happened after the gun jams. And Dr. Coley is here in the studio. We missed her. She's talking about the new COVID booster shots, and are they safe?
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stop by. We're taking over. We made all this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
I just don't remember mine.
Dang, it's on the bridge.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. The coffee here,
It's not good.
what do we do here? How do we get it better? What do we do? We got Cheri, we need help.
Yeah!
Sierra, it's terrible. It's terrible. Happy birthday, Sierra. Turned 26 yesterday. Happy birthday.
Sam's going to ask you. But
Tori, what were you doing at 26?
Oh.
Sierra, did you have a good birthday?
I did have a good birthday.
Yay, Sierra! I thought our conversation was really good because at the end of the day, you know, people think that you are either on this side or on that side, when I would hope we can all have duality of thought and say, listen, I think President Biden, to Al's point, did a number of really great things that honored his campaign promises. But then you can also, without being judged, saying that you're slamming Biden, say, I wish he would have focused on that to unify the country rather than going after a demographic who, by the way, aren't going to change their mind.
Right.
It's like when you shame someone, and I do not agree with Trump supporters, but I understand that if you put someone in a corner and shame them, they're just going to hate on you.
You can make
more.
the argument that Hillary Clinton with the basket of deplorables, that comment, has
never gone away.
Yeah.
Like, I still see bumper stickers that say proud deplorable.
Yeah.
And that's to
You're
your
not gonna
point, Sam.
convince anyone.
When you put people in a corner and call them a name,
push
it's just
back.
going to make them gel
Angry.
together, and they're not going to go anywhere. So
Yeah, or if you
I
say they're
get
being
it.
conned, even though I agree, Trump's a con man, just look at his history. But if you're going to tell someone that they're being conned, they're going to feel like a fool, and they're not going to listen to anything else that you're going to say. So you have to be a little bit more strategic and empathetic, in my opinion.
Welcome back. We got Lady in Red in the corner. Love it. Dr. Coley. She's here to answer all our questions about these new COVID booster shots that just got approved by both the FDA and the CDC.
Let's jump right in, shall we?
That was the weirdest turn.
I know. Sam just stopped.
It was like you were like one of like those CD players from the 90s. You just stopped talking. And I was like, are we still on the air?
I was told that Jeff has a question he wants to get to, so I'm going to honor that, Jeff.
Okay.
Honor that? All right. Wow, we're very professional here on Friday. So I better look right at the camera. So Dr. Coley, these new booster shots are not without controversy. They're only tested in mice and and not humans. So talk to us about these boosters. Are they safe and effective?
You know, I'm glad you're asking me this, Jeff, because you've had a lot of questions about the vaccines all along. So I think coming from you, this is a really appropriate question.
But I'm double vaxxed.
Double vaxxed.
And boosted.
And boosted.
And boosted. Okay, and now you're going to go and get this booster after I'm done talking to you today, right?
Well, let's see what you have to say.
Okay. So the FDA actually purposely told them not to test them in humans because they wanted to greenlight it, because we already have more than enough data on the fact that they're safe. This is something we've been doing for decades. We do this every year with the flu. Switch out the messenger RNA or switch out the DNA in the vaccine and just put in a new one. So for every strain, we don't need to repeat the trial. So safety, I'm not worried about. Efficacy is a little bit more of a question mark. So how well do they actually work? Now, you know, this is a little bit of a different booster than the one we've had before, but mice data tells us that it's 20-fold more effective than the one we had before against protecting against symptomatic infection from Omicron.
Yeah,
Great.
so that was going to be my question. How are these different? So they're 20 times better? That's how they're different? That's a good thing to put on the outside of the box.
This is a software upgrade. It is a huge upgrade for our booster. So the old booster had only one virus strain in it.
That was the Windows 98 booster.
Yeah, the Excel version. Or Sam's old cell phone.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
She carries
Sam's
around.
old stuff.
So that was the Toyota of boosters.
Yeah.
This is the Tesla of boosters. Yeah.
Don't knock Toyota. They go forever.
I have a Prius. I love it.
So that was
she
very
drives
good.
a Tesla.
Oh, okay. Good plug.
So Toyotas are great. They're reliable, they work. But going faster with a Tesla, if you upgrade, and that's what we've done here. So instead of having just that one strain, which is the original one, we have that, plus we have, you know, the Omicron BA4 and 5, and that really allows for a higher level of antibody response, as well as hopefully a longer duration and more general coverage.
Good analogy.
All right, how important is it to get these shots, considering the fact that you can still catch COVID after getting boosted? Tell me about that.
So with the old booster, that was the case. With this one, we're hoping it's 20 times better. It's your Tesla booster that's going to hopefully make it not only a lot less likely to catch it, but a lot less likely to get infected.
I'd like upgrades. Me too. Well, what should we do? Me too.
Right.
What should we do about our kids? And now I know a lot of our viewers either have grandkids or kids, and they're wondering, just like we are, like for my kids, they're both eligible right now to get their COVID vaccine. And I've been talking to you about which one should they get. Should they wait until a new upgraded version comes, or get in there now and then go get boosted later? What do we do?
You have to get the basic one. You have to get those 2 doses before you're eligible for this upgrade. So you have to put in your Toyota time before you're eligible for a Tesla. But the boosters, the upgraded boosters for kids are coming. So that'll be the next iteration. But you guys all need to go get your boosters, because anyone, regardless of their risk, regardless of whether they've had the infection, if they're at least 3 months out from their infection and at least 2 months out from their last shot, need to go and get a booster before the fall wave hits.
What about when we get our flu shot? Can we get both at the same time?
That's what I'm going to do.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. In fact, I think we should have a little party. What do you guys think?
Shot and a shot.
I don't go to parties with needles. But I did want to ask you.
All the parties that I go to.
That's true. So, so if somebody's watching or myself, we log on to our healthcare provider and we say, I want to go get a booster. Is the Tesla booster available? Is that the one we're going to get today?
I want to wait for the Tesla
When is it coming
booster.
out?
Labor Day. So the CDC
really?
and
It's like a
FDA
sale.
greenlighted it. They already, that's right. It's like
Is everybody eligible?
Everybody's eligible for at least 2 months out from your last shot or at least 3 months out from your infection.
Well, what if you got infected and you don't know? Is it bad then to go get a booster?
No, not at all. It may not do much because you already have the protection from the infection. It won't hurt.
What about this saying you're not allowed to get boosters after Labor Day? Is that still relevant? No, I'm just kidding. Let me sneak in this last question. A new survey is out, and it showed that 2 in 3 adults don't know their blood type. I don't even know mine, and I've been looking for it. How important it is to know something like this, and does it have anything to do with? I've never gotten the virus, COVID. I forgot about what it was. That's a good thing.
And how do we find out our blood type?
Yeah.
So blood test, easy to know. Every single person should know it. In fact, put it in the back of your driver's license or something. If you're ever in a car accident, people need to know your blood type.
Oh, no.
If you have a loved one who's in a car accident, you need to be a donor. You need to know your blood type. So I would say, and I'm disappointed, honestly, because I asked the producers a while ago, nobody knows it. Go and find out.
You need to find out. Now, you just sent me to go get my blood work done. Can I call them and they'll tell me?
It has to be a special test. So you have to do a blood type. It's called.
Can I sneak in something very, very important? A friend of mine, his aunt needs O negative. I know it's difficult to find. So if anybody watching has O negative, please reach out to DBL. That just hit me. Yeah, sorry, but O negative. I guess it's really, they can donate to everybody.
Universal donor.
But they can only take O negative, right? So it's hard to find. So
good to know.
If anybody watching is O negative, please, good lady.
Wow. Please reach out to DBL. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley. We appreciate you as always. We'll be right back.
President Biden just announced a plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for some people. When critics attacked the plan, the White House responded on Twitter by pointing out some of those critics had gotten even larger loans forgiven by the government. Those loans weren't student loans, they were Paycheck Protection Program loans. The PPP was created during the early stages of the pandemic to provide business owners with cash so they wouldn't have to lay off workers. According to the Treasury Department, as long as the loans were used to cover payroll, they could be, and often have been, forgiven. Recently, many people have claimed that the average forgiven PPP loan was much larger than the 10 to 20 grand in forgiveness that many students are now receiving. This tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders says the average amount of debt forgiveness to businesses was more than $95,000. So let's verify. Is the average amount forgiven for PPP loans greater than $20,000? Our sources, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Education, and the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. That committee is a government agency tasked with tracking how pandemic relief funds get used. Out of a total 11.5 million PPP loans, more than 10 million were fully or partially forgiven. And the agency calculated that the average amount forgiven was $72,500. So where did Sanders get the 95,000 figure? Well, that was the average as of last year, when only about 4 million loans had been forgiven. Since then, millions of smaller loans have been processed, bringing the average down, according to the Small Business Administration. But when it comes to student loans, the max most people can get forgiven under Biden's plan is 20 grand. So even with the lower 72 grand figure for PPP loans, we can verify, yes, the average amount forgiven for PPP loans is greater than $20,000. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. Some shocking video out of Argentina today showing their vice president, Cristina Fernandez, surviving an assassination attempt last night. A warning to our viewers, this content may be disturbing. Now watch, a man in the crowd pulls a gun, points it right in her face. The gun jams as he pulls the trigger. Now the vice president wasn't hurt, but authorities said there were 5 bullets in the gun chamber. Now listen to the gun jam in this second video from a different angle. Listen. So they are trying to figure out the shooter's motive, but we should note that the vice president is currently in court facing corruption allegations, which she does deny, I should say. Tori, how crazy is this? I don't even know the odds of a gun jamming.
With 5 bullets in it directly at her face on camera like that, that was divine intervention, if you ever believe in something like that. I will also say that man has been arrested, and they think 5, but that one has been arrested.
They think there's 5 additional?
They think there is a plot with 5 people. They have one in custody, but it was some kind of, they think, Brazilian nationalist group. And we're just trying to figure it all out. I mean, it was in her inches.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you for that additional context, Tori. Okay, so here's a question for you. How do you feel about a kids soccer team for boys under 10 being sponsored by Hooters? The Hooters in the UK came out to wish good luck this season to the under 10 league they're sponsoring. Hooters, of course, is known for their female servers in low-cut tops and bright orange shorts, but appear modest in the photos they shared. Now, it's unclear what the terms of the sponsorship are, but the boys will have Hooters logos on their jerseys. So question again, should Hooters be associated with kids 10 and under? Is this funny, lighthearted, or are we sexualizing young boys? What would you say to this with 2 young boys?
I'm all for it. Hooters is a chain restaurant now. Everybody knows what Hooters is. It's not a sexualized, maybe it is in some people's eyes, but you could bring your family there, right? If you were sponsored by the New York Jets and the cheerleaders came to take a picture, would you say, get out of here?
And they wouldn't be dressed like that.
Right, and they actually wore some, I appreciate that, Tori, thank you.
Poetry slam.
Yeah, they actually wore like sweatpants and stuff. They didn't go into traditional outfits. I'm all for this, and they're paying for it, by the way.
I also think just before you cast stones, look at every single person that's been a sponsorship. I'm sure there's been some corruption on those ends too. Hooters, to me, again, family restaurant. I think I've been there. I like their wings. I don't have an issue with it.
Listen, I'll play devil's advocate here. I used to go to the Hooters all the time. I had friends that worked there in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard.
That's where I would go too.
I'm not talking about the waitresses. I'm talking about some of the patrons. Some of the patrons and my friends would complain, would call out to them, whistle at them, grope them. Now, when I used to play soccer, we would go to the sponsorships establishment afterwards. So we'd go to Village Host Pizza afterwards and enjoy pizza. I don't know if I would bring Sophie to Hooters, considering the misogyny that I personally have seen and my friends that have been waitresses there have experienced. So I see both sides.
Right. I mean, definitely, and I'm glad you brought that up, but there's also, we can't just talk about Hooters. If we're talking about young women being hypersexualized around drunk male patrons, I think, unfortunately, that probably happens at the ESPN zone and Dave & Buster's, and any place where an alcoholic beverage is served. And I don't want to punish a franchise that's trying to do good here. You know, look, I'm happy we're doing this story, Sam, and I appreciate what you're saying. I'm happy we're doing this rather than the CEO doing something terrible. They're trying to do something good. They showed up looking appropriate, and they're sponsoring this. What do we do?
Good point, Al.
Like, let's get them, get those kids some new uniforms.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Darling. This time it's monkeypox, the rare but rarely deadly disease with symptoms similar to smallpox. The CDC's statistics show it's very uncommon in children, but with schools back in session, parents and teachers are asking, is it possible for monkeypox to spread through school surfaces like desks and sleeping mats? Our sources are the CDC, a recent monkeypox surface study conducted by the Utah Health Department, and Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
The most common way that monkeypox is transmitted is directly from person to person, and this involves skin-to-skin contact. A small number of cases could be transmitted by respiratory droplets. There are also sometimes people can get it from what we call in medicine fomites, which is the environment around us.
The CDC emphasizes the risk to children is low, though yes, again, it can spread through contaminated objects like toys, eating utensils, fabrics, and surfaces used by someone who has monkeypox. The Utah Health Department study took 30 specimens from a house with 2 people with monkeypox. Several items had traces of the virus, but none had a positive viral culture result, meaning the virus wasn't viable or infectious on those surfaces.
The surfaces that are most problematic are actually soft fabrics, so like bedding, towels, things that we would use somewhat intimately with skin-to-skin contact. Other surfaces, such as desks, doorknobs, telephones, are much less likely to become contaminated because the skin to direct contact would be quite unusual.
The CDC says the best disinfectants for monkeypox are the same ones you're using for COVID or any other emerging viral pathogen. EPA's pesticide product and label system search page allows you to see name brands and generics that perform best. At this point, the CDC is not recommending students stay out of school for monkeypox exposures, unless, of course, they have symptoms. At that point, the child's doctor and local health department should advise what to do and whether the vaccine might be an option. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Verify viewers are always on the lookout for the next potential scam, and we love when you ask us about suspicious claims and requests, like Karen did. She received this letter that claims to be from the federal government that asks her to answer questions about her passport. So Karen, let's verify. Is this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State legit? Our sources are the State Department, the Office of Management and Budget, and the U.S. Government Accountability Office. The State Department is responsible for issuing passports to Americans. Every month, the agency mails a letter like this and the one received by Karen to 35,000 addresses nationwide, inviting them to take part in a survey about passport demand. The survey asks questions about whether anyone in the home has a passport or will need one in the next few years. The State Department says it then uses this data to know when it needs to hire more people, build more infrastructure, and add resources to issue passports. So, yes, this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State is legit. The department says it may also call people who don't respond to the letter.
All right, so we got some comments in regard to Hooters. NP says someone probably approached Hooters to be the sponsor.
Yes.
And then Julia says, well, maybe Hooters could have a family section.
Yeah, they do.
The restaurant.
There's like little league teams in there, and yeah.
They don't have a family section.
But it's a family-style restaurant, isn't it?
No, you guys, it's not a family-style restaurant.
I think
it's not
it
the
is.
same as
Sure
like
it is.
Yeah,
a
it
pizza.
is.
What? If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, also our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Comedian and actress Cheri Oteri is going to be here live. She's telling us all about what it was like during her years on SNL. Plus, Kanye and Kim are feuding about where their kids should go to school. We're going to talk all about it.
Whether you love it or hate it, pumpkin spice season is here, and people are using the flavoring in all sorts of foods and drinks. But despite its popularity, some people are still confused about what actually goes into the pumpkin spice seasoning in a pumpkin spice latte. This person on Twitter claims there isn't any pumpkin in pumpkin spice. But is that true? Let's verify. We spoke to a spice expert, a licensed dietitian and nutritionist, and spice manufacturer McCormick & Company to get to the bottom of this.
There is no pumpkin in the spice, but it's a blend of different spices that historically were used with pumpkin in pumpkin pies or pumpkin puddings.
The blend usually contains 4 to 5 other spices you probably have in your cabinet: cinnamon, ginger, cloves, nutmeg, and allspice. Spice giant McCormick & Company first introduced a commercial pumpkin pie spice to the U.S. in 1934. The goal was to flavor pumpkin pie all in one container, rather than bakers needing to get each individual spice. So we can verify, no, pumpkin spice does not contain any pumpkin. But despite the lack of pumpkin-y goodness in pumpkin spice, both Frisch and Andrew say it's still possible the latte drink that you order may in fact contain pumpkin these days. And as it turns out, we can verify that the PSL at Starbucks has both pumpkin spice seasoning, which does not contain pumpkin, and real pumpkin. It says so right here on the drink's ingredient list. With your Verify and my very own pumpkin spice latte, I'm Ariane Till.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
No.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. We have so much to talk about. Let's start with, I'm sure a lot of you saw this. I was like refreshing my Instagram in real time yesterday when this was happening. So some public family feuds are making the headlines. The one I'm referring to involves Kanye West and his take on Kim and where she's sending their kids to school. So Kanye posted and then deleted many text messages saying that Kim shouldn't have the only say on what school the kids should go to. Kanye wants the kids to go to his newly established Donda Academy, but they apparently attend a private school near their home in Calabasas. He also accused Kim of feeling entitled to decide about their kids' education because she's, quote, half white. Kanye also took on Kris Jenner, who allegedly said she wants Kanye to stop mentioning her name because at 67, it stresses her out. Kanye then responded by saying he won't allow his children to do Playboy or sex tapes. So anybody see this in real time like I did coincidentally yesterday?
No.
Oh
How'd you see this?
Gosh, I don't know, but I fell down that rabbit hole.
What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were anger because Kanye could totally have a point. But to do this so publicly, to me, felt like a manipulation control, and it felt very toxic. And it's almost like when you're in a fight with someone and their last straw is to do something like to announce it to the room, just to like humiliate you. Mm-hmm. It's like
hence the Playboy tapes.
Exactly. Yeah. Like handle it privately, please. You may have a point. You may have a say where, of course, where your children go to school. You may be in the right. I don't know. But to involve the public like that is absolutely atrocious and abusive. That is abuse. That's abuse. I just want to end it right there.
I'm with you on that, and I usually take Kanye's side, right? I'm a Kanye fan. I believe he's genius, and that that line is blurred there. And now I kind of want to get your take on it because we usually have the same opinion. But in this case, right, I question his Donda Academy. Number one, I think he's genius, but I don't know if the curriculum fits what America is teaching. Right. I think it might be amazing, right, because of his ideology. But I do question some of that. Calling out his ex-wife, who he has kids with, you're biased because of your education, because you're white. That's not necessary, right? And then when he's saying at the end, well, I don't want my kids to be a stripper or sex tapes. You had kids with this woman. Yeah, you loved her at one point in your life. So now you're holding all these things that you loved at one point against her and for ransom. And really, who are we talking about here? The children. So right. I don't like this, Al.
All I ever hear is you guys talking about your children. Sam was talking about how your kids were up like roosters this morning.
Gosh.
And
so tired.
And we do it, and we don't ask for accolades because we love it, and we love them so much that nothing within our power is going to hurt them. And so to see this back and forth, Kanye is, I think this is going to be a pattern of behavior, as it has been for some years. But I hope somebody steps away from the Kardashians because their life is not anybody's lives. But what will apply to most people's lives is if they do have a split, there's going to be a lot of bad blood. And what you need to do with that is not text things about sex tapes or you're overweight or you're half white, whatever you want to, and go get a judgment.
Yeah.
That's why people pay for lawyers. If there's an issue with schools, there should be printed paper on legal heading that says, here's where they go to school. Here's the weekends you get, Jeff. Here's the holidays you get, Tori. And anything else is just dust in the wind, because if you're going back and forth, you're giving that person the illusion that they can change something. And unless they go down to that courthouse, they cannot.
Yeah, and very quickly,
final thought.
All of this is discovery for Kim. In the court case, they can bring all of this up and say, look how absolutely erratic he is, look how racially charged he is. She could get custody because of the temper tantrum he's having on the internet.
In front of the whole world.
In front of the whole world.
Yep. Another family feud that is really ticking me off. Britney Spears is once again calling her kids out online. It's over an interview her 15-year-old son Jaden gave to a British TV network. Jaden revealed he hasn't seen his mom in months and that their relationship is strained. Watch.
I 100% think it can be fixed, of course, but I think it's just going to take a lot of time and effort. I really want to see her again.
Jaden also said he wants Britney to get better mentally. Britney responded on Instagram and lashed out at Kevin Federline for allowing their son to speak to the media about personal matters. To Jaden, she added, quote, on the issue of my mental health, my dear child, understand you must learn to pick up a book and read one before you resort to even thinking about my intellect. Sorry, Britney Spears, I've defended you until this very moment. How dare you talk about your son to the entire world, who's 15 years old, who is not an adult like you are, and demean him in front of the entire world. He is an innocent child. And you have brought the entire situation onto your Instagram before Jaden ever did. Kevin Federline, I can treat separately. Maybe he's just as guilty. But in this moment, I don't care what Jaden says. That is your child, and you just publicly humiliated him. Not okay with it.
I have a somewhat unpopular opinion.
I think you speak for a lot of people.
And I also understand that all three of you are parents. So please know I am very aware of that. So there's a difference
You're a dog
there.
mom.
I'm a dog mom. That's different than children. I understand that. So, But I will say this. Legally, Britney Spears is more than just a mom. She is a public figure with a whole brand and an entire mogul of things happening. And forever, she's had an entire team against her, work against her, right? With lawyers, with Jamie, with Kevin. Someone set up this 15-year-old to get an interview with the British. He didn't just choose to do it. Someone on their side set that up. That's also disgusting, in my opinion. If she doesn't speak back, she's back in the conservatorship. She has no voice. She has no way of saying anything. The only way Britney can say anything is to publicly say it, because it's the only people that support her are the public. Now, do I think they're both in the wrong? Absolutely.
Who, both?
Wait, you think he's in the wrong?
A 15-year-old's in the wrong?
I think the team, Jamie, Kevin, someone set that 15-year-old up to have a discussion about his mother's mental capacity. He doesn't know. He didn't set that interview up.
I don't feel comfortable calling him somewhat guilty. I cannot.
I'm not saying the 15, I'm saying the team behind him. I don't think he did anything. I think he was set up to be on this thing, to be a pawn in what has become this terrible chess game.
Maybe that's what Britney should have said. Maybe that's what Britney should have said instead of demeaning her son and telling him to pick up a book.
I hear that.
I can't imagine. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Sam on this one. Like, Britney's talking about not putting her life in the media, and then she attacks her son in the media. My dear child, pick up a book. I would never say that about my child, ever. No matter what we are going through, I wouldn't put my kid through that. Is there a chance, we talked about blind loyalty in the beginning of the show, is there a chance Britney Spears is unwell and that what is being said about her perhaps might be true? We have this blind loyalty towards Britney Spears, and everything against her, it was everyone else's fault but hers. Is she maybe at fault?
It's not blind if a judge declared she wasn't an abusive
A judge also declared some really wacky things that I've never heard of. Getting an IUD put in because of your mental state. A lot of other things that I've never even heard of. And I know some people who know some people that are mentally
if you're
unwell.
Really mentally not well, you shouldn't be able to go.
But I'm saying I haven't heard of a couple of these things had we not talked about Britney Spears. Obviously, something has to be wrong with her, is the point I'm trying to make here. I'm not trying to demean her. And something has to be wrong, but we just blindly go in and be like, hey, everyone treated Britney Spears, and it's her dad and her sister and her brother and Kevin Federline and her kids. It's like, maybe it's her.
Or they could both, I agree, it could both be true. I just think that she's never had the microphone, ever.
You're right.
And now
You're
she
right.
does.
And I'm glad she does. I just want her to leave her children out.
I agree with that. I would agree.
Oh, Sam hates you.
I know.
Coming up on DBL, what a good talk. Cheri Oteri, you guys, gonna be here live. We cannot wait to talk with her about her brand new movie coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stop by.
Welcome back. I cannot wait for her new movie. Our next guest made us laugh on Saturdays Live from New York, and now she is joined by an amazing, hilarious cast for Comedy Central's new movie, Cheri Oteri. Welcome to DBL.
Oh, what's up?
Hi, Cheri. This is great.
You look like you're pondering something.
This is very exciting.
No, I'm just hoping nothing falls. You should have seen me setting up. It's like everything was falling.
She's like, nobody
I'm trying to
move.
keep still.
Nobody
just
move.
don't sneeze or cough.
Yeah, everyone stay
I know,
still.
right?
Tell me about, Cheri, was there an SNL sketch that was somewhat challenging, but worth it in the end? Because you did what I love was the physical part, and I'm such a physical comedian. I really look up to you. What was the hardest one for you, the most worth it?
Well, the hardest one was not physical. It was, I would have to say, probably doing Barbara Walters, because I didn't go in doing any impressions, but I was kind of strongly made to do her, and oh God, and I just knew that I had to have like a different take on it, and you know, Gilda was so iconic doing her, and once I did do her and the audience kind of like accepted it, I had more fun doing her than ever. And that picture, that was one of the highlights of my career, was getting to interview her as her.
That's amazing.
And yeah, I would say I got more bang out of the buck of doing Barbara Walters than you know, doing her on New Year's Eve with Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper. It was just like, she's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, right. I used to just love watching those skits way back, you know, when, and like how even like the lighting would be all blurred. Right. You were so good. Okay, but we got to talk about your new movie. A lot of people are anticipating it. It's called Out of Office. Now, based on the trailer, this is my interpretation. It seems like you play the tough love mom. Is that true? Tell us more about your character.
Oh my gosh. It's, first of all, I'm doing it with Jason Alexander, who is a doll, and he made me laugh. Yes, it's good cop, bad cop. I'm definitely bad cop, and it's really funny to be bad cop and then see Jason Alexander as the softie dad. But yeah, we are trying to get her out of the house because we're moving, actually, and all I want to do is go to Paris, and I just want this girl to get a job and be able to take care of herself so I can go to Paris without guilt. But I think she's going to go to Paris with or without guilt, you know. But yeah, it was, and being a part of like this crazy ensemble of talented people was, I wish I would have gotten to work with them more. But the cast is just so incredible and stellar. And yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because it's almost like, you know, the NBA All-Star Game. There's it's such a crazy cast. There's so many incredible comics. Like, what is like, who made you laugh? Because there's like guys that make the people in the industry laugh. So who's the comic in the back of the room in that setting?
Oh my God, they all made me laugh, and I'll say, like, you know, Leslie and Ken together. Whoever thought of that is just brilliant. I mean, those two together, it's just so funny on so many levels, and they were so funny. Everybody was, you know, I mean, the whole cast. I watched the movie the other day, and I was just like, this is so fun. And it really does reflect what the past 2 years have been like, with people working from home and remotely. And I think the movie was going to be called Remote, but they changed it to Out of Office. But yeah, it really is a great reflection of these past 2 years and, you know, doing business at home remotely.
So speaking about that, you just mentioned it's about working from home. We all know about the embarrassing things that could happen during a video call. We had them happen to us over the past 2 years. What did you have to deal with during a video call?
Well, I so related to being a dog mommy.
Yeah. Tori, that's you.
For me, it's the dogs. And the funny thing is, someone said to me once, you know, Cheri, you can press your mute button. And I never thought about that.
Right. Guilty.
I never thought about, so I would just be like, I'm talking to stuff! I'm in a meeting! Which of course is way worse than the barking.
Now you're louder than the bark.
But I never even thought to press my mute button, and I was like, oh my God, of course.
That's hilarious. Oh
Sherry,
my God.
you and Tori got a lot in common.
Yeah.
You and Tori got a lot in common.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? Right now, I am fostering a 5-month-old German Shepherd.
Mazel. Mazel tov.
Yeah, I've got 2 of my own rescues, and over the pandemic, I found and fostered and found homes for 4 dogs.
Good for
and
you, Sherry.
it is the best. There's like nothing more fulfilling.
Sherry. We need more of you.
Absolutely.
We really do. You and Tori are kindred spirits.
You rescue them, they rescue you right back. Cheri Oteri is what you are.
Okay, all right. All right. I gotta go. It was great chatting with you, Sherry. To our viewers, you have to. We all need a good laugh. You gotta check out of Office. It premieres Monday, September 5th on Comedy Central. We'll be right back. Thank you, Sherry.
Lovely meeting you, Sherry.
You're welcome. Mwah, mwah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Suffer from.
President Biden just announced a plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for some people. When critics attacked the plan, the White House responded on Twitter by pointing out some of those critics had gotten even larger loans forgiven by the government. Those loans weren't student loans, they were Paycheck Protection Program loans. The PPP was created during the early stages of the pandemic to provide business owners with cash so they wouldn't have to lay off workers. According to the Treasury Department, as long as the loans were used to cover payroll, they could be, and often have been, forgiven. Recently, many people have claimed that the average forgiven PPP loan was much larger than the 10 to 20 grand in forgiveness that many students are now receiving. This tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders says the average amount of debt forgiveness to businesses was more than $95,000. So let's verify. Is the average amount forgiven for PPP loans greater than $20,000? Our sources, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Education, and the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. That committee is a government agency tasked with tracking how pandemic relief funds get used. Out of a total 11.5 million PPP loans, more than 10 million were fully or partially forgiven. And the agency calculated that the average amount forgiven was $72,500. So where did Sanders get the 95,000 figure? Well, that was the average as of last year, when only about 4 million loans had been forgiven. Since then, millions of smaller loans have been processed, bringing the average down, according to the Small Business Administration. But when it comes to student loans, the max most people can get forgiven under Biden's plan is 20 grand. So even with the lower 72 grand figure for PPP loans, we can verify, yes, the average amount forgiven for PPP loans is greater than $20,000. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. Labor Day is coming up, and for some, this means wearing white after the holidays off limits. Turns out this is actually an old rule based on class. But what about some other fashion rules, like not wearing horizontal stripes, or never to wear brown with black? And here's one of my favorite rules to break. You know me, I like to mix patterns. Right? This is actually a current fashion trend. So are all of these rules a thing of the past? Look, there we go. Yep. Are these rules, Tori, in your opinion, a thing of the past, or do you follow these rules?
I genuinely don't wear white after Labor Day.
You don't?
No.
I've never followed this.
I thought it was a thing that, I don't know where it came from when our producer Anthony said it was a class thing. If you could afford white, you could go on vacation, and it separated you from the working class, the actual color of your outfit.
If you could afford to go on vacation,
right.
You would wear white because you know it's a lot hotter in those climates.
The sun is coming on. The sun.
You said if you could afford white.
You could afford white to go on vacation.
White was very expensive back then.
It's the one material.
Wait a second. You want to buy this shirt? What do you do for a living?
But yeah, I don't wear white after Labor Day. Do you guys?
Yes.
I do.
I don't.
What?
You're the one person who can.
I never do.
I don't know many situations where, quite frankly, I can pull off white pants.
Yes, you could.
No, I could not.
You don't think
if somebody shows up to a party with white pants, you're already
No. How about this? Mexico vacation.
all right, I need to put 5 more years on it, and then I could see some white linen,
pleated
like
linen.
the kind of white, like
5 more years on it?
because you got to be 50. You got to be like about to get in that good living.
Oh my, you're
you know,
so right.
your kids are grown and like your house is paid for. That's a different kind of feeling when you're like 52.
No, I'm already.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
No, he's right. You know Martine Watkins, who's been on the
Of
show.
course.
She's a dear friend, but her dad, iconically, Michael Watkins, always, and he's our superintendent, always with his white linen pants.
It's a statement.
Now, it's a statement. I mean, I appreciate it. When Michael Watkins walks in the room, I appreciate those white linen pants. I'm curious.
What's happening with the description?
It's a lot.
Are you a magician? You're like.
I am. You didn't know that? Now you just ruined your pocket.
No, it just goes right back in.
Al, I caught him in the wardrobe room carefully steaming your pocket square.
I like to steam things. It's super relaxing for me.
Vegetables?
I like to saute vegetables, actually. A quick question for Jeff.
We're out of time. Okay,
White tux or black tux?
Oh.
All white or all black?
All black.
All black.
All black.
White tux? Who wears a
Ben
white
Affleck
James
wore
Bond?
one. Yeah,
He rocks the white.
Unless I'm going to Jay-Z's party, I'm going to be all black.
He did. He did the white party.
Yeah.
That's funny. We'll be right back.
You can't say that's funny.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
This time it's monkeypox, the rare but rarely deadly disease with symptoms similar to smallpox. The CDC's statistics show it's very uncommon in children, but with schools back in session, parents and teachers are asking, is it possible for monkeypox to spread through school surfaces like desks and sleeping mats? Our sources are the CDC, a recent monkeypox surface study conducted by the Utah Health Department, and Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
The most common way that monkeypox is transmitted is directly from person to person, and this involves skin-to-skin contact. A small number of cases could be transmitted by respiratory droplets. There are also sometimes people can get it from what we call in medicine fomites, which is the environment around us.
The CDC emphasizes the risk to children is low, though yes, again, it can spread through contaminated objects like toys, eating utensils, fabrics, and surfaces used by someone who has monkeypox. The Utah Health Department study took 30 specimens from a house with 2 people with monkeypox. Several items had traces of the virus, but none had a positive viral culture result, meaning the virus wasn't viable or infectious on those surfaces.
The surfaces that are most problematic are actually soft fabrics, so like bedding, towels, things that we would use somewhat intimately with skin-to-skin contact. Other surfaces, such as desks, doorknobs, telephones, are much less likely to become contaminated because the skin to direct contact would be quite unusual.
The CDC says the best disinfectants for monkeypox are the same ones you're using for COVID or any other emerging viral pathogen. EPA's pesticide product and label system search page allows you to see name brands and generics that perform best. At this point, the CDC is not recommending students stay out of school for monkeypox exposures, unless, of course, they have symptoms. At that point, the child's doctor and local health department should advise what to do and whether the vaccine might be an option. With your Verify, I'm Megan Maleris.
Verify viewers are always on the lookout for the next potential scam, and we love when you ask us about suspicious claims and requests, like Karen did. She received this letter that claims to be from the federal government that asks her to answer questions about her passport. So Karen, let's verify. Is this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State legit? Our sources are the State Department, the Office of Management and Budget, and the U.S. Government Accountability Office. The State Department is responsible for issuing passports to Americans. Every month, the agency mails a letter like this and the one received by Karen to 35,000 addresses nationwide, inviting them to take part in a survey about passport demand. The survey asks questions about whether anyone in the home has a passport or will need one in the next few years. The State Department says it then uses this data to know when it needs to hire more people, build more infrastructure, and add resources to issue passports. So, yes, this passport survey from the U.S. Department of State is legit. The department says it may also call people who don't respond to the letter.
Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time has come today to stop and by. We're taking over.
DBL is all new every day.
Are you making fun of my dancing?
You're doing some mom car dancing. That's
what
when you're
about
in the.
her over there?
What are you talking about?
No.
Oh yeah, I have one pose.
Yeah.
And all my pictures, and Jeff spotted it.
We're going on season 6.
It's the
Well,
same
Jeff, you
pose.
look the same with those.
Sam, do the pose really quick.
No.
Oh, it's like this every season. I don't know what to do with my
trying
long
to show people to
dangly
donate
arms.
blood.
So I just because they're so
Donate
long.
blood.
I have long arms.
You have gorgeous
I need.
limbs.
Thank you. I need to show you a
Did you say
response.
she said gorgeous limbs?
Yes, she does. She's got gorgeous, long, beautiful.
So you're trying to make up for the Britney fight.
I am.
Yeah.
I feel bad about the Britney fight because I'm the one that's going to get attacked by Britney fans.
You might be right in this whole
I need to give you a response. We have a fan, my mom, but my mom's a dork. My mom sent
Both can be true.
One of the most iconic Winnie the Pooh quotes, because you told me Winnie the Pooh does nothing, and I said Winnie the Pooh stands for friendship. Here is
From yesterday's show.
For yesterday's show. Here's a famous Winnie the Pooh quote. Don't walk behind me. I may not lead. Don't walk in front of me. I may not follow. Just walk beside me and be my friend.
Wow. Are we sure it's a direct quote from him?
Yeah, it is.
I think that's from the Bible.
I think you should.
That's a quote.
No, and also, what am I supposed to do with that at 5 years
I don't
old?
know.
And that's exactly my point. I'm not saying Winnie was bad. I'm just saying super boring.
I think we should all just walk off because the show's over.
No, I'm saying
me
it
on
by
that.
You're
my
gonna
winning
say that
fans.
to Heidi Shocker? Say it right now to
Oh.
Heidi Shocker.
Say it.
I love you, Heidi.
You took it back.
I'm not coming to nobody's mama.
That's
Thank
right.
you for watching.
That's right. That's right.
We love you guys. Have a great weekend.
And wear white on Tuesday if you could afford it.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time has come today. Just stopping by and say, we're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over. We're made to win.
DBL is all new every day.